Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Here it is. Spotted. Kick. And it is no good.
Not even close.
It's not even close. It barely reaches the end zone, and the game is over, and the Philadelphia Eagles have escaped with a 10-7 win.
That was Merrill Reese on Eagles Radio, and escaped is the perfect way to put it because that game got way more complicated at the end than it ever needed to be. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. If you were hoping to tune into an offensive battle, Pearl, you were out of luck. Final score 10-7. Nobody scored at all in the first half, but then it got really hairy at the end of the game with some questionable decisions, really from both coaches. And because of the loss for Green Bay, they're now 5-3-1. They're in third place in the NFC North. And Matt LaFleur was being asked about his job security last night after the game.
Yeah, so, excuse me for 1 second. Let me check the standings here. Yeah, that's a win, Maggie. And the Eagles are 7-2. That's all that matters. Yeah. I see a win. Let's move on to next week.
As the Eagle fan, you want no questions about Nick Sirianni's boneheaded plays at the end of the game.
No, come on. I mean,
they were boneheaded, Pearl. You don't have to be a homer. You don't have to be a homer. That was a bad decision.
Did you call the play at the end of Minnesota when they did the same exact thing? Was that boneheaded?
Well, it's boneheaded if you don't learn from that.
Why? He caught the ball in Minnesota and they won the game. It's 3rd and 7. Or 4th and whatever. That's honestly their highest percentage play is throwing downfield to A.J. Brown.
Okay, wait, hold on. So let's set this up for everybody. So it's 10-7, okay? Philadelphia has the lead. And for some reason, they decided to throw the ball on 4th and 6 with 33 seconds left.
From the 35?
From the 35, from the Green Bay 35.
Yeah, because the other option would have been to punt the ball.
Punt the ball, try to pin your opponent with 30 seconds left and no timeouts, I believe, at that point. So instead of trying to make this as difficult as possible for your opponent, you actually crack the door open because, spoiler, the pass went incomplete. So now you're handing the ball back to Green Bay at their 36-yard line with 27 seconds left. And they actually then start taking shots downfield. It was a really windy, blustery night. That's why Nick Sirianni said, he was confident that a field goal would not be an option for Green Bay. Their field goal kicker is dealing with a groin issue, all of that stuff. But to even crack that window open for your opponent, to give them multiple shots at that point at getting in field goal range when you're only up by 3 is asking for disaster. Now, you could say the result is the result, but the process there was ludicrous.
Well, yeah, I know everybody's criticizing this play, but the alternative was they're at the 35, they punt it, it definitely goes in the end zone, it's at the 20. Is it really?
You could squib kick it. You could do something like that.
The odds of them not putting that punt into the end zone are 0.0 that night. I'm just telling you, it easily could have been a punt into the end zone, and Jordan Love's in a desperate situation with no timeouts anyway. It wasn't quite as impactful as everybody in the Philadelphia media is making it. And the same exact play worked to the T against Minnesota. That they've done this before. Why Packers knew it was, I think the Packers did their homework and knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Because he was covered like a blanket.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's 4th and 6. Give me another play. Well, if you're the Eagles, what do you run? I mean, they can't. You would have punted. I would have.
But here's the thing.
There's a good argument to go for it on that play, too. A lot of coaches would have probably gone for it because the punt is not going to make a huge difference either. Might kill a couple more seconds.
Yeah, well, seconds were everything. And it was such an adventure on 3rd down for both teams and 4th down, where the Eagles did not convert on either of their 4th down attempts. But that Minnesota game where this last second throw the ball on 4th down to ice the win, that worked because there were actually points scored in that game. There were actually touchdowns in that game. This was not that game. You've got to, if you're Nick Sirianni, and again, they're the winning side here, Philadelphia, but we can quibble with how they handled the end of the game because there were no points. But both these teams could barely move the ball, and even when they got into each other's territory in the first half, both quarterbacks had fumbles.
Yep.
So, to me, play the field position game because that's the game you're in. So, I always ask this question for Nick Sirianni, what do you say you do around here? And you're looking at this roster, Pearl, and you guys have a great roster. Jalen Phillips was awesome yesterday.
He was good. Let's not confuse him with Lawrence Taylor, but go ahead.
Well, sheesh, is that the bar for Jalen Phillips?
I don't know. Yeah,
Jalen Phillips was okay.
Jalen Phillips was the new toy in the house, and he was definitely good. But I know this great roster. Just wrap your head around this fact that Nick Sirianni is going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Just enjoy that little one. And by the way, it was a boneheaded play. I agree. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But do you honestly do you downgrade the Eagles' chances of winning the Super Bowl because of this? Because if you do, I think that's a mistake.
No, I mean, you guys have basically almost have a red carpet to the number one seed. No one else in your division has even above 500 record,
right,
let alone giving any resistance whatsoever. And there are some other good teams in the NFC. The Rams are a good team.
Yeah.
I thought the Packers were a good team. We'll get to that in a minute. But here's my thing about just what I'm saying about Nick Sirianni and last night. Eagles win 10-7, but the coach almost blew it. This is a football team that is so much like baseball in the sense that I give all the credit to the general manager. All the credit to the general manager because it's a good roster. It is. And you have plenty. And the coach, I think, is just getting so lucky. I don't know how, but the roster is so good. But anytime the coach has to make a big decision, whether the result works in your favor or not, I generally always disagree with the process.
Yeah, no, I think Sirianni, first of all, is much more of an alpha, I think, than you think. He sets the tone for that team in a sort of like a Dan Campbell way. He's a tough dude. And I think the players love him, so I don't know if that has any value in itself. The players respond. That's his thing. He's a vibes guy. They're emotionally connected to him. I think there's value in that. And also, too, he's just it's a good coaching staff. And that's, I guess you would credit the head coach for that. Last night, he was super conservative. And I was killing him in real time. I was yelling at my TV. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Turned out it was brilliantly played. He knew the game that was in front of him. I guess when you're on the field, you could tell neither offense was going to be able to do anything. The Packers receivers all of a sudden could not catch a single thing. They hit him in the hands about 9 times.
Yeah.
So I think he played the game he was in. It's a 35-yard line. I understand what you're saying. The punt really was not going to be exactly what. If they punted in that situation, it probably would have given Jordan Love still would have had a chance to have a sort of a Hail Mary situation like he did. So I understand you're killing him for that, but I would not downgrade Sirianni. Honestly, I think that Eagles team is a well-coached team overall. Fangio is amazing on defense. Kevin Patullo is probably a bit of a problem. But I think he's got Nick Sirianni in his ear saying, hey, run the ball on 3rd and 12. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but that's typical Eagles. There's a W at the end of the day.
Okay, so now for the Packers. 2 straight losses at home in Lambeau. And to me, whatever you want to say about the offense, and let's talk about it. They clearly don't have enough weapons. With Tucker Kraft not on the field, their tight end, the offense has just gone completely into the garbage can. But to me, if I'm sitting here as a Packer fan, what I'm really lamenting are 2 different plays that became negative plays because of an illegal formation call. That is a killer. You're at home. That's 2 unforced errors. The first wiped out a 22-yard gain to Christian Watson on a 3rd down that would have given a ton of momentum to Green Bay and put you in the red zone. The other was on a 4th and 1. Josh Jacobs ends up fumbling the ball, but it wouldn't have mattered because they had an illegal formation also, which is just a killer when you're in these really tight games. Well,
the fumble didn't matter. They also got tackled 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I assume you're talking about the key 4th down play.
Yes,
the
4th and 1.
That was terrible. Everything about that play was a disaster. The offense stinks right now. When Dobbs went out too, that was bad. They're generally just. I don't know what's going on with that offense. It's a disaster because it was exactly like the Panthers game. They would make some nice plays. I blame LaFleur. He's got to open up that offense a little more. He just is so intent on establishing Josh Jacobs that they become predictable. Maybe Jordan Love will come up short, but I would definitely let Jordan Love throw 10 times more a game than they do. That's so Matt LaFleur, by the way. He is just this I got to run the ball guy.
Well, listen, the conditions were not good last night, so I can understand you're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and the wind is the way it is. Maybe you want to get the ground game going. What's funny to me about the Packers offense is when you talk about the passing offense in terms of yards per pass, they're averaging 8 yards per pass. It's 6th in the NFL. Like, they are trying to find these guys. I just don't think any of them are as good as we think, and a lot of them are hurt all the time. Would have loved to have Matthew Golden out there last night. Couldn't do it. Got hurt in the last game. Would love to have Romeo Dobbs for a full game. Feels like you can't get that guy for a full game, let alone a full season. So Christian Watson is kind of the only guy out there, and he gets banged up a lot as well. And the Eagles did a good job, relatively speaking, on him last night.
They did the same game plan against Carolina. This wasn't just the weather, just to be clear. They finally let Jordan Love throw against Carolina, and he tore him apart in one drive. Now, maybe because the defense is laying back and prevent situation. But again, you saw it last night. All of a sudden, when they let Jordan Love pass, they started making some plays. And if guys could catch, they would have even made more plays.
Yeah, it was a slog. It's been a slog for the Packers offense. It feels like when it's great, it's great. When it's bad, it's so terrible that even an amazing performance by the defense, who deserves a lot of credit last night.
They have players.
They are amazing. And obviously they made the big Micah Parsons trade. At one point he chased down Jalen Hurts and forced him, to throw the ball away. And Troy Aikman even said it on the broadcast, like usually Jalen Hurts could get away from anybody except for Micah Parsons. But meanwhile, there's high expectations for the Packers. And anytime a Packers head coach loses 2 games at home, you're going to have major consternation. I was going to say agita. Here is Matt LaFleur when it was asked about his job security, said he'll let others speculate on that.
I'll leave that for everybody else to decide. I'll just focus on the day-to-day and trying to do – I feel like you're always coaching for everything in this league. That's just my mindset. It's always been that way.
I mean, the offense doesn't seem to have a ton of urgency, even though I think they don't get credit for the amount of explosive plays that they go for. More from LaFleur. Can I hear to cut 19, please, Ray? Says, being a head coach, you never feel safe.
You can't ever exhale. You got to always be pushing, and that's just my mindset. So, and that will be my mindset until they tell me not to coach anymore.
Okay, so a little background on this also is that Matt LaFleur has a contract that runs through next year, 2026. There was a chance, Pearl, where they could have extended him before the season started and decided not to. So kind of letting him dangle out there a little bit. Now, there's plenty of time. They still could hand him a gigantic contract, but they're letting him play this season out, and obviously he'd only have 1 year left on his deal.
He is 72, 35, and 1 in his career, with the one, I think, being that Cowboys game earlier this year. That's an amazing record. And he's on the hot seat. Says a lot about today's NFL.
Well, was he in the playoffs? 3-5. And that's what it is.
That's not bad.
With home field advantage for a couple of those, including the NFC Championship game where Tom Brady threw 3 picks in the second half and they still lost.
3-5 is awful, Pearl. What are you talking about?
3-5. We killed Lamar Jackson for that.
What do you think Lamar? Yeah, I know. I mean, Lamar Jackson was the number 1 seed. 3-5 is not awful. They came in as a wild card and almost beat the Niners. And then they went to Philly. Like, they've been on the road a lot of those playoff games. It's not the worst.
Well, they also lost to the Niners in Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, home games as he lost as a
I mean, the thing in the playoffs is you're playing against other playoff teams. I don't think 3-5 is an embarrassing playoff mark at all.
You had Aaron Rodgers for those, you had Devontae Adams for some of those
games. The Green Bay
games.
Storyline has been that they've been a disappointing playoff team under him.
Under Rodgers. Once Rodgers left, I thought that Jordan Love run was pretty good. Like that, but nobody was disappointed in that team.
Well, they had one good run. It was going into Dallas and shocking everybody and beating Dallas,
and then it started to rain against San Francisco, and they lost that game. Now, last year they had no chance. I mean, they were going into Philly. That was not going to happen. I don't think anybody was killing Matt LaFleur because he couldn't beat that team yesterday. They were a touchdown underdog. Last year's playoff, you killed LaFleur for that? I don't remember that narrative.
We did not, but again, 3-5, that's 5 losses. You're talking about one that maybe is forgivable because the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl. I mean, there's 4 others there where he, listen, the thing is about the San Francisco game on the road in that divisional round, they had the lead.
Yep. I mean, he's 6 years in. I mean, I personally am not a huge fan because I think he's a little over-conservative on offense, but normally, under normal NFL circumstances, that's pretty soon to fire a coach who's winning at a time. I mean, Marty Schottenheimer won at a high rate for over a decade. I don't know. It just feels like this is a fast hot seat to me. I guess you guys disagree.
Here's the thing. I think the regular season record for him is definitely gaudy, But when you look at the 3-5 record, it's not like he went into a gunfight with a knife. He's going into some of these games with the MVP of the league, Aaron Rodgers,
but that's a
and
long
now
time.
Jordan Love is the handpicked guy.
You got to get the Rodgers team. Even that Rodgers team probably overachieved. Like that team. Like remember, they drafted Jordan Love because Rodgers was stinking.
Okay, here's a question: if you put out a poll, is 3-5 a good playoff record for a coach? Right.
No.
What do you think's going to happen? And if it was your team, I think.
But like,
you'd be pissed off.
what do you think Sean McDermott is? He's probably 500, right? So I mean, most coaches in the playoffs are around 500. That's like sort of the thing.
Mike McCarthy got fired for playoff failures too.
Yeah, but that team, to me, that was a massive playoff. There were some real playoff failures where LaFleur kind of resuscitated Rodgers. I'm not killing him for all that. Like, when Rodgers left, was anyone saying like, oh, it should be LaFleur who goes, not Rodgers? Nobody was saying that. Rodgers was 40 years old.
Well, obviously. But I think there's also a little bit of victim of your expectations, right?
No, I think it's the Micah Parsons trade is why this is happening. Like, because once you trade 2 first-round picks for one of the top 3 defensive players in the league, then your expectation is huge. So I think there's more about Micah Parsons being there than the playoff history. Like nobody, I haven't heard a lot of, oh man, he's a bad playoff coach.
Okay, well, so here's the
thing. The
though.
last 2 years that has not been the story.
That's fine, but the defense is not a problem. But he's not a defensive coach, right? Like he's a head coach.
No, I understand.
But his side of the ball is offense. And now with the Lions, who have continued to look a little up and down, but for the most part good. The Bears are finding a way to win these games, whether you like them or not. Minnesota seems to hang around all the time, even with a second-year quarterback. This is a tough division. 888-710-4ISN. Question, is it fair for Matt LaFleur to be answering questions about his job security yesterday? See, the other reason why I think he doesn't look good right now, Pearl, is because Nick Sirianni did kind of crack the door open for you at the end of the game. Now, even if it was unlikely, there was a moment where you could have stolen that game at home, and that didn't happen. There was a moment when you could have won that Panthers game at home. Sometimes it's going to come down to these really tight spots, and it just feels like he doesn't have the answer. Maybe LaFleur, it's just guys are dropping passes.
No, I mean, LaFleur, at that game, that was, to me, if you're walking away from that game, like, it's not the late game decisions by LaFleur. Like, it's just the offense is broken. And he's you said it perfectly, he's the offensive guy. The defense is amazing. The offense is broken. Yeah, he should be on the hot seat. I agree with that. I think you have a very talented team. And one thing I totally disagree. Like, Nick Sirianni, you are never going to give enough credit to. I think he's a better coach than you think he is.
That's fine, but he almost blew that game for his team last night, and that would have been an all-timer. Now, he didn't, but again, if you want to play the result, play the result. I'll play the process. That was rough. 888-710-4ISN. And now we're talking about the decision to pass the ball on 4th and 6 with 33 seconds left. It went incomplete, cracked the door open for Green Bay to have a shot at a game-tying field goal. 888-710-4ISN. Eagle fans, how you feeling? Packer fans, Matt LaFleur, is he the guy to get you to where you want to go, which is Super Bowl? 888-710-4ISN. Maggie and Perloff Show. Let's go.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Philadelphia Eagles escape with a 10-7 W at Lambeau Field against the Packers. Very, very concerned about the Packers, who are actually my Super Bowl pick. I kind of understand why I did it, because Edgerrin Cooper is a monster. Micah Parsons looks awesome. They have every level of their defense is good. I had no idea the offense was going to disappear like this. I figured last year Jackson Dart was hurt, but Jordan Love, sorry. Yeah. I figured Jordan Love was hurt last year, and they would figure it all out this year, but they're not quite doing that. Josh Jacobs just looks a scunch slower, so they're a mess. I think Matt LaFleur, the head coach, is definitely on the hot seat for real. He's got to open up that offense. I don't know how you do it without your best receiver, Tucker Kraft, but figure out a way. Just go for it. Hey, if you're on the hot seat already, there's no reason to be cautious here. Stop with the establishing the run. You're not the 2000 Ravens who's going to win with defense and run. I know you think you might be, but Matt LaFleur definitely has to get out of character a little bit and be a little bit more like, I don't know, Not like Shanahan doesn't. Shanahan can be conservative too. Who's at a Mike Leach? Give me somebody like somebody really just go for it, dude. Just throw the ball all over the field. They won't see it coming because if anybody looks at Packers tape, it's the most boring offense ever. Yeah. Very conservative.
But then here's the thing: how do you square that with just the raw numbers that they are 6th in the league in yards per pass and they are top 10 in pass yards per game? Like, it's weird because I kind of agree with you. Like,
really?
But these are just the raw numbers. Like, they are going for explosive plays. I just think either the wide receivers are not good enough or something else is going on. Now, let's not discount the offensive line has been jumbled up as well. They lost their center last night, and the Eagles were getting pressure on Jordan Love like crazy. So, like, they didn't sack him that many times, but they were getting pressures, and that was new guy Jalen Phillips.
But let me just say, I'm like, oh, you read me those numbers. I'm like, oh, I'll bet you the Bengals are somewhere in there. They beat up the Dallas defense, the Bengals defense, and the Commanders defense in their biggest passing games.
It's feast or famine. Said. Yeah, let's go to JT is in Atlanta, a happy Eagle fan this morning. What's up, JT?
Hey, what's up? Thank you guys for taking my call. Well, I can listen to you argue every side of every argument all day. It's like a guilty pleasure. It's like you go to. It's like, eating too many donuts. You know it's not good for you, but you just can't stop yourself. Like, but the Eagles, I don't know if you feel the same way, Perloff, but I'm a little concerned, right? Because, if you couple, and I'm not saying it's all Sirianni's fault, but if you couple last night's kind of weird decision to go for it, because I agree, punting it was the move, right? I mean, the defense was doing its thing, push them back, make it so hard. That was too close, even though they missed the field goal by like 30 yards.
They never got the snap really off cleanly, and that thing just died.
Yeah, but to put your team in that position, I think, was the wrong move automatically. But if you couple that with the late loss to Denver, now as you see what Denver is as the season's gone on, you couple that with the loss to the Giants, which fired their coach. There are some red flags, I will say, that kind of have me concerned about this team and really being able to finish it off like we did last year.
But JT, did you think that they had kind of answered those red flags the last few weeks? Like they looked like they were in big trouble, then they came back a little bit?
Yeah, so then that makes me concerned, right? Because you had a week off. What happened during that week that you regressed instead of progressed? Right? Like, that shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening. Like, I mean, like you talk about Andy Reid. Andy Reid wouldn't have let that happen. He's like he's undefeated, like, or unbeatable after a bye. Like, that's what it should be.
JT, they just won after a bye.
GT, you're right. I kind of get what you're talking about, but you are acting like they lost. They did win last night, but you couldn't feel good about it.
But no, you can't. Right, that's one of those wins that you kind of you're satisfied because you got the win. But then at the same time, you got to be disappointed in how you got it as well. Like it shouldn't have been that hard offensively. I know that the Packers defense is not bad, but that offense looked horrible last night. And the run game hasn't activated it all season. I mean, so, and then with Lane Johnson going out, I just don't know. There's a lot of things to be concerned about as an Eagle fan.
JT, good point about Lane Johnson. Came back into the game after he got rolled up on. Yeah. He's obviously the standout tackle and will probably end up on some kind of Philadelphia Eagles Mount Rushmore situation because of how much he means to them. But came back in the game and gutted it out.
Yeah, I know. Troy and Joe acted like he died when he went out. And then because he was getting carried off, man, he is a tough lumberjack of a man. He is gigantic. They went on the road to a winning team and on prime time and got a W. I think JT's overstating I mean, they face the Lions next week. That's going to be a much bigger challenge. I admit that. But the Eagles are a hard team to predict. They're playing better than they did. Remember they lost to the Giants? I was like, this is 2023 all over again.
That's what you said for the
but
first 7 weeks of the season.
They quickly fixed the defense. So I was really, really worried about the defense. The Giants scored 34 points on them. That is fixed. Now, the offensive game, what's the obvious problem with the offense game? You don't have to be an Eagles fan to understand, like, where is A.J. Brown? What is going on? And what impact does that have in the locker room is a huge deal, too. So the lack of A.J. Brown is kind of simmering underneath the surface. I'm going to chalk it up to the weather last night. Andrew Bogus is here. He knows I like to cite weather for
NFL
NFL
Smith
issues.
didn't bother. The weather didn't bother him. He came down with a 36-yard touchdown, basically on a jump ball.
No, I know, but this has been a problem. AJ Brown's unhappy with his targets, and they seem like they got on the same page, and they were giving him targets, and now they just he completely disappeared last night. Was he even until that last play where they shouldn't have even been passing the ball?
Yeah,
was AJ Brown even in the game? How many targets did he have last night? 2 or 3, I think. I have no idea, but I don't remember seeing him much.
Let's get to Andrew Bogusch, who's got everything else that's going on in the world. What's up, Bogusch?
Guys, good morning. Your headline sponsored by Prize Picks, the hard-hitting football action, even better with Prize Picks. Download Prize Picks, use code PRIMETIME, and get $50 in bonus credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. If you're wondering where Manny is today, he might be helping Brian Daboll pack up his house in Jersey. The Giants firing their head coach yesterday, the day after their 4th double-digit collapse on the road this season. Now, we haven't heard anything official from any current Giants yet, but former QB Daniel Jones did check in from Indy yesterday.
Never want to see anyone fired. It's an unfortunate part of this business. I think that's the reaction and hope for the best for him and everybody there in New York.
Oof, good thing the Colts are on their bye so Jones can get those emotions in check before playing the Chiefs next Sunday. Daboll 20-40-1 in 4 seasons, just 11-33 over the last 3. Only the Titans have a worse record in that span. GM Joe Shane not losing his job, even though he and Daboll were supposed to be a tandem.
Also, how's the defensive coordinator keeping his job?
That as well.
The head coach, I know the offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, is now going to take over as the interim head coach, but there's no one else on the staff who might want to take a shot at this with the defense.
Yeah, while you're doing this, take Shane Bowen with you.
Yeah, while we're handing out pink slips, everyone who's going to coach next year, take a step forward. Not so fast, Shane Bowen. I mean, not to joke around about someone losing their job, but they could use a new voice. They actually do have some pieces on defense that are really good.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is perhaps they feel like Daboll had a lot more say in defense than we realize. Maybe whether it's calls or the guys that are starting, the guys that are playing a lot, that could have been it because that made no sense to me. That's the only thing I can think of is perhaps they say, hey, listen, Daboll had Bowen doing certain things that he would not have done. And
if I were Shane Bowen, I'd say that too.
I mean, I'm not trying to sound like his defense attorney, but I'm trying to figure out why that happened.
Dabes was in my ear. He was calling the defense. He was calling the offense. He was calling everything.
Yeah, considering what happened with Martindale, they had that friction as well. So maybe he had too much of a say in the defensive scheme.
Yeah, I mean, Daboll's a fiery dude, man. He is that guy who is not afraid to get into a massive argument and I think keep everyone pretty tense. And that's not the only thing that cost him. I just don't understand how you keep the GM.
Me neither. It's inexplicable.
Do the thing, rip the Band-Aid. But, there are some pieces on this roster, so I guess they're going to give Joe Shane all the credit for that.
Joe Buck told us it was entertaining, but it was scoreless at halftime at Lambeau last night. The first time since 2009 that Monday Night Football had zeros on the board at intermission. Only a slight uptick in scoring in the second half.
Hurts fakes, looks, steps up. He is floating the football. It is for Devontae Smith. Touchdown!
Smitty got it.
He took it away from the defender. He took it out of the hands of Evan Williams.
Merrill Reese on Eagles Radio. Devontae Smith scoring Philly's lone touchdown to put them up 10-0 in the fourth quarter at Lambeau. They won 10-7 after a fourth down stop, and Brandon McManus's missed 64-yard desperation field goal as time expired. Jalen Hurts knows his side of the ball still needs to be much better.
When we look at ourselves in the mirror, it's not a capability thing. It's not a capability thing at all. It's, we're very confident in what we can do. We just got to go out there and play at a high level more consistently.
His team did, though, win last night. The Packers lose their second in a row. They are now third in the NFC North and seventh in the conference.
What was funny about that?
Yeah. Wait, what's that?
You laughed when Jalen Hurts said we should be more consistent.
Well, Jalen Hurts is so laid back. I mean, and you even saw on the field. One thing, he was kind of cutting off some of his runs early last night. Once it comes to playoff, that's another thing. Jalen Hurts will lay out on runs come playoff time. That's why I'm not counting out the Eagles. One thing about Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley last night said he's the most underrated player in the league, and we forget he won a Heisman. Devontae Smith never gets any attention, does he, as an elite receiver? I don't think people talk about Devontae Smith in the NFL. They talk about him in Alabama. But
I think it's probably because A.J. Brown is such a whiner. Like,
right. I agree. He takes all the oxygen in the room.
I mean, stop deleting your Instagram and then putting weird stuff and reading books on the sideline and generally trying to be the squeaky wheel. Meanwhile, Devontae Smith, who they paid, so it's not like the team's ignoring him. They gave him a massive contract.
But do you ever put him in the conversation amongst the great wide receivers of the NFL? Not really. I don't know if he belongs there, but he's certainly better than A.J. Brown is right now, and I still feel like everyone thinks A.J. Brown is the one.
So here's the thing about that. If they thought Devontae Smith is a top 5 receiver in the league, right, which is kind of what you're positing here.
I would say top 10. Top 5 seems a little rich, but he's in the conversation top 10.
Then, I think the Eagles have telling you that they don't think he's top 10 because they should have traded A.J. Brown's ass long ago. He's such a pain. If they thought that Devontae Smith could just pick up the load or that the offense wouldn't skip a beat without him, I think they probably would have traded A.J. Brown. I think it's shocking that he's still on the team.
Well, I think they complement each other really well because Devontae Smith, as great as he is, he's tiny.
He's small, yeah.
He can't be a high usage
he's 170. He could, he could be 160.
He's my goal weight.
Yeah, and then you got AJ Brown, who looks like he should be a WWE wrestler. So I think in many ways, like Smith benefits a lot from having AJ Brown on the other side.
Yeah, but Brown doesn't like being a decoy.
Well,
clearly.
yeah, that's a problem.
But this is the first time too. Smith's leading the team in receiving by a long stretch, and Smith's way above his career rates. So he's definitely stepped into that one role. Listen, the Eagles. You saw the Eagles' passing game last night. It's totally broken anyway, regardless of who the wide receiver is. Kevin Petula, the new offensive coordinator, is still a work in progress, to put it nicely.
Let's check in now on non-bust Victor Wembanyama.
1:14 all. Shot clock at 8. Shot clock at 7. Victor against Vucevic. Victor step back 3. Yes, sir! Victor Wembanyama has done it!
He has hit a 3 to give the Spurs a 121-117 win in Chicago in November. Wemby finishing 38 points, 12 boards, 5 assists, 5 blocks, the first player ever with that combo of stats plus 5 made threes.
But come on, Bogues. The guy is 7'7" and the best player on the planet. He really shouldn't be going down to the wire with the Bulls. He's got to win that game by 20.
Yes.
As our friend Spike, who is it predicted Wemby would go 82-0? I love that.
Yeah, well, Spike was talking about our former boss, Spike Eskin, out his afternoons on WIP. So if you want even more Eagles talk, you can find it there later.
If Perloff's not enough for you.
More Sirianni chit-chat. But he has this idea that if you put Victor Wembanyama and you compared him to an adult playing with children, right? Like all the ways, it'd be like a adult playing with, people who are a foot shorter than him on a rim that's 2 feet lower. Like if you just adjusted for Wemby's insane size, it's not as impressive.
Yeah, no. There's no reason. There's no reason he should be at 114 with the Bulls. Come on.
Well,
Wemby.
these are not your older brother's Bulls.
The problem with that, though,
Bulls
is we've seen other guys who are 7'6" and 7'7". They all stink.
Right.
They're all not only are they not even great, they're not even good.
Yeah.
Is the best 7'7" guy George Murison or
Manute.
Boban? Manute Bol defensively was good.
No, Manute was not good. Manute was a sixer for a long time.
He was a disaster. Yeah.
Then he developed the 3-point shot, was hysterical. It was the funniest player of all time.
Slowest release ever.
But I say Yao at 7'5" is the greatest.
Oh yeah, Yao was great. Yeah.
But Yao couldn't move. Wemby's ridiculous. Wemby, not only is he doing all this, and you see the video, he's like Kareem doing overseas and doing martial arts and things. Wemby's the real deal. I get it's kind of funny. He is obviously I was wrong. He's not going to be a bust. That being said, the expectations could not be higher.
Yeah, that's big of you to admit.
He's got to win the title this year, right?
The expectations are super high.
No, I'm just saying where the expectations are. He's already there. He's
playoffs, win a playoff series.
I think the Thunder are
they're
still
8-2 right now. Yeah, I understand the Thunder. No, I win a playoff series.
Yeah.
No, come on. He's got to be deep into the playoffs this year. That's the expectation.
The West too loaded, man.
I don't know. LeBron and Jordan didn't win for a really long year 7.
I hear you, but they're not 7'7" and the best player on the planet. Those guys are munchkins compared to Victor Wembanyama. He's better than both of them combined.
The one thing though, you're a big man. They have good guards, but eventually, playoff basketball, he's gonna have to rely on Fox and and Castle and these other guys hit shots too.
But he hits his free throws, which is always so different from Shaq or anything like
For
that.
sure. But like Shaq had Kobe and Tim Duncan had Tony Parker and Ginobili. Like those guys are going to step up too in the playoffs so they're going to win a championship.
I'm kind of, but I'm not saying that they're going to do it. But I do think the expectation raises higher than just win a playoff series. Like I think people think they're in the mix now, and I think for good reason. They're 8-2. They should win a lot of regular season games. I don't know if you have to load manage Wemby at a certain point.
I mean, they load manage Stephon Castle. They're going to load manage Wemby. They load manage everybody.
Maybe give it like a 3-week LeBron-style groin injury before the playoffs.
Problem was with him, with his health history, I think we'd all be, blaring
Concerned.
red alarms, saying, is this going to be the problem that's going to stop him from being a great player?
Have you checked your calendar recently and made up reasons why you can't go to San Antonio and apologize to him?
I got my reasons, Bogues. Don't you worry about that.
Okay.
All right, but that's where we got to leave it. Thank you, Bogues. Coming up next, we got a little clarity on one of the stories in the NFL that we are beyond interested in. If we did like a ranking of stories we're interested in, this is number one, and it's doesn't even have a close second. Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie, Perloff, LL Cool J. Okay, Pearl, I always think this is really funny. It's an interesting tactic by Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Browns, because whenever he seems to be asked about Shedeur Sanders, I understand why you're not like letting the media and everybody in on every moment of your decision making, right. But it's almost like he has no impact on his decision at all, right? He kind of is like, well, that's above my pay grade. It's like, well, it's not really, coach. Actually, you're the head coach. But yesterday, the quotes when asked about Shedeur was, and actually we have it. Let's hear from Kevin Stefanski. He would not speculate on whether or not they'll even consider giving Shedeur Sanders a look.
I don't think it's fair to speculate, Daryl. We're committed to getting better as an offense. Dylan is certainly committing to improving every which way he can. And all the while, all of our players, young players, are developing and working so hard behind the scenes to make sure that they're getting better on a daily basis.
All right. I mean, you've lost 5 of the last 6 games, and you just lost to the Jets. Like, what is the commitment to this third-round quarterback, Pearl? Like, you and I might like Dylan Gabriel. I know we have a lot of Oregon fans in our audience. Like, this is not shaded Dylan specifically, but It's not like he's played so amazing that it would be unfathomable to look at Shedeur Sanders. And it's just an odd tactic. Like, are you really going to catch your opponent off guard with this? Is it like a strategic thing to not even entertain the idea of having Shedeur on the field?
I think they have a plan when they're going to use Shedeur, and I think it's at the end. I would assume maybe the last 2 games, last 3 games. I think the last 4 games. So he's just holding off until then. Like, yeah, I mean, first of all, Dylan Gabriel actually had some pretty nice plays against the Jets, believe it or
well, the
not.
Jets just traded away their 2 best defensive players.
Yeah.
I'd hope you'd have a good day against the Jets.
I mean, it wasn't a great day by any means.
They put up 20.
Yeah, it wasn't a great day. But I think that he's just holding everyone off until it's Shedeur time. I hope it's Shedeur time. I mean, there's a chance they won't do it. But I think it's 2 or 3 games left. So what are you supposed to say now? That was clearly a coach trying to get out of answering the question, right?
Yeah, well,
we know coach speak.
Yeah, of course. But here's the other part of this, right? Like, is Stefanski coaching for his job? Because we're not sure. First of all, it's kind of hard to read the Browns ownership because they may change their mind whatever way the wind blows. They just fired Paul DePodesta, who was like a strategy guy who's in their front office, who famously Jonah Hill played him in the movie Moneyball. But we're not exactly what he did in Cleveland, considering he lived in San Diego, and they have a GM and a coach and an owner who's involved. So, like, what was Paul DePodesta doing? Anyway, clearly
probably on the beach enjoying San Diego sun.
Actually, you know, being smart about it and kind of living in San Diego.
That's what I do.
But here's the thing, right? So things are starting to shake. And maybe DePodesta, he's going to run the Rockies now. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall. Like, hey, you know, looks like this coaching staff or this GM may not be long for this. I'd better get out and find a nice little landing spot for myself. So I'm going to go try to revamp the Colorado Rockies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, they already have 7 other Ivy League guys who are at it. Like DePodesta, listen, Andrew Barry is legit. Like, he's a Harvard guy with it. They didn't need DePodesta was ancillary.
No, but this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What we're asking, and I'm asking, what is the job security like for Kevin Stefanski?
Yeah.
And when you see
but
other things start to move and other people jumping off the ship to take a job with the crappy Rockies, like, you start looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, no. DiPodesso isn't part of any of this. Like, he's not an integral part of the core of the Browns. Like, it's Andrew Berry, and more Andrew Berry. So I don't think the DiPodesso thing impacts Stefanski. I think this is really about Haslam and Stefanski. And I think Haslam came in. I think there's a good chance that Haslam said before the year, listen, we're not going to give you a quarterback. You're going to have to wait a year.
Right, because Deshaun Watson's still on the roster and expensive.
Right. So they're like, we're going to draft a guy in the third round, we're going to draft a guy in the fifth round, and we're going to sign these two old guys. Well, one old guy and one medium guy. And we'll see in training camp if either of them pops. Kenny Pickett got hurt and ruined his whole training camp, so he didn't get a chance to develop him. They basically said, we're going to take a random Hail Mary at quarterback. It didn't work, so now they're going to draft one. The question for Jimmy Haslam, the owner, is, are we going to let Kevin Stefanski develop this next quarterback? And there's still a valid argument to do that because everyone knows the guy can call plays. He can coach an offense. This year is obviously a reset year for Cleveland based on the money. They have the least expensive quarterback room in the NFL by a mile. So, of course, they're restarting.
Slash most, because everyone made the mistake with Deshaun. He's just dead weight on your roster.
Yeah, I guess he's just not in the quarterback room. I mean,
he's technically there, isn't he?
But I don't think he's practicing yet, is he? I mean, he's not really there.
I just find this very interesting because if I'm Stefanski, the only way that I even have a prayer, maybe there's no prayer of actually saving my own job here, right? Maybe that's out the window. But the prayer that I have maybe for my next employer, and I'm sure he will get a lot of looks, and he's two-time coach of the year for whatever that's worth. I mean, Brian Daboll was the coach of the year, and he now is, packed up and got fired yesterday by the Giants. That award doesn't maybe mean what we think it means, but I'm sure he'd have a lot of other suitors. But man, what would his stock look like if he somehow turned Shador into a thing? Because Shador gets a ton of attention. It's no longer going to be like Cleveland now is irrelevant. I'm sorry, but Dylan Gabriel doesn't bring the sizzle or the buzz, right. And Myles Garrett can have 100 sacks. They'll still lose. I mean, it's getting to the point where they are just irrelevant, and Shador makes them relevant again. Whether you love that or hate that, he does bring a lot of eyeballs and attention. People are very into his story.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying if Kevin Stefanski was running the show, he should take another Hail Mary and put Shador in there.
Totally. I would if I were him. What do you have to lose at this point?
I don't think it's up to him.
You're going to get fired with Dylan Gabriel, or you're going to have Shador go in for the last 2 games of the season where he probably looks terrible because your offensive line is probably a sieve at that point, and more people are hurt, and everyone's just playing out the string because you're a 2-win team right now?
Yeah, but I think they're waiting for the Titans game on December 7th because that's going to be a really good chance for Shador to get a great start. Or if they want to give Gabriel a win, then they have weak defense. They have the Bengals in week 18. That's a really great defense for Shador to play. They have the Steelers in week 17. That was a good defense to play. Now they look better. They have your Bills, who are totally flawed on defense on December 21st. And the Bears, whose defense has been up and down. So I think they're waiting until the end of the year when a lot of defensive players on teams are sort of pulling back. I think Shador will look better down the stretch, but I have a feeling that the owner is told Stefanski, you're okay. I think he's going to possibly be back in Cleveland. I mean, I would kill for that guy to be the Eagles offensive coordinator next year. Philly native, famously. I think he went to high school at St. Joe's Prep where Matt Ryan went. He went to high school, one of the big schools downtown. I think he's going to be a super hot OC if he shakes loose.
But why wouldn't he just get a head coaching job? There's probably going to be 7 or 8 of them open. That's usually the average.
Well, I feel like if I'm an owner, I would take a guy who is not coming off a losing record because there's going to be a lot of other OCs. You get the Tampa guy, Grizzard. You'll have, obviously, Cliff Kingsbury. There's tons of offensive coordinators. I don't think Stefanski's a guarantee to get a job. I mean, look at the Browns.
Well, that's the other part, too. It's like Stefanski has 2 11-win seasons in his tenure. So, that's really good because usually the Browns are not even sniffing double digits, but has never won the division. And, in fact, has come in last place or second to last in all but 1 season of being the head coach. And they won 1 playoff game, and ironically, he wasn't even at that game because he had COVID. They went into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers, which is not nothing, but he wasn't there.
Yeah, but he won't take
coaching for the basement.
I see him going offensive coordinator for 1 year and then back to head coaching.
Just crazy. to me, Dylan Gabriel has not played well enough for us to be like, well, he's really stiff-arming Shedeur Sanders, keeping him on the bench. I don't get it. 888-710-4ISN. Okay, coming up, we got some big news yesterday. We'll break it down.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
It's a 64-yard field goal, and the kick is so wide left it ends up in Sheboygan. And the ball is wide and not even close. The game is over. Zeros on the clock.
Oh, Kevin Harlan, just perfect. Yeah, that thing was off track, and that was the last-ditch attempt for the Green Bay Packers to try to tie the game. They lose. Final score 10-7, not exactly the barn burner we were expecting, Pearl, but your Philadelphia Eagles walk away with a win. I'm not sure they deserve to, but they walk away with a win last night.
I mean, they did control the game. They should have won that a little more easily. By the way, Brandon McManus is a major problem for the Packers. He looks like he is not ready to kick a field goal from anywhere, let alone 64 yards. This is a guy who one time had the NFL record. I know he has an injury, but that was sad. Did you really think at any point the Eagles, I thought they were going to win the game, really, after the first quarter when I saw Green Bay was going to be so conservative, I was like, oh, this is a win. The question is Jalen Hurts going to have to carry the ball 100 times to do this? But they did. They're up 10. They basically had the game under control. Then they laid back on defense a little bit. Jordan Love scored. I don't think there was any. I know that you and everybody else is criticizing what Nick Sirianni did at the end of the game, going for it in fourth down, which we'll break down in a second. But I never, ever thought Green Bay was going to get their act together and score again.
Okay, so the controversial call, and what everyone's going to be talking about at the water cooler or wherever you work today, is Nick Sirianni, with obviously his team up 10-7. They have the ball, okay? And they have about 33 seconds left on the clock, okay? And they're at the 35-yard line, Green Bay's 35-yard line. And on a 4th and 6, as opposed to punting the ball away, squib kick the ball away, run the ball, and just, try to take the clock down as much as you possibly can, they throw the ball. And kind of a low percentage throw, a tight throw, if you will, to A.J. Brown. Valentine breaks it up, and they actually gave Green Bay an opportunity at their 35 to try and go kick a game-tying field goal. Now, Sirianni says he stands by it. He knew that the kicking conditions were not good, and they were trying to ice the game. It worked against Minnesota, where they actually did complete the pass, but people were actually scoring in that game, and it was inside. This was outside, and this was a very, very different game. Process was flawed, but the result ends up going in the Eagles' favor, and now there's no one even in the NFC East who's got a winning record except for the Eagles. Looks like you guys could be on, I would say, cruise control, because the offense is certainly not great, but you got a bit of an inside track here to the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Eagles definitely have problems. The offense, I know, because my phone is blowing up, there's a lot of worries about OC, Kevin Patullo. This exactly, in 2023, basically their head coach, offense coordinator, Shane Steichen, got another job, and they promoted somebody, and it didn't work. They brought in Kellen Moore. That worked great. They won the Super Bowl. Now they promoted Kevin Patullo. I already think that Howie Roseman, the GM, is looking at who gets fired this offseason. Is Mike McDaniel or Kevin Stefanski coming to Philly? Because this guy does not look like a high-end offensive coordinator to me. I mean, you saw that offense. It just doesn't flow. Everything is hard.
Yeah.
There's no rhythm.
No, and
neither team had rhythm last night, but the Eagles specifically should have more rhythm with all that talent.
No doubt. And it just feels like a slog. I mean, the Eagles haven't scored more than 20. What's their high this year? They have not hit 30. I know that. I think the high is, they scored 33 and 31 in weeks 3 and 4. Since then, nothing. 28 is your highest. Oh,
yeah.
No. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You put 38 on the Giants. So congratulations. The Giants were terrible. But here's the thing. And they just fired their head coach. Here's the thing. Philadelphia escapes with a win. I still think Nick Sirianni is a liability, which is a weird thing to say about a Super Bowl winning head coach. But I also watched the Eagles fire Doug Peterson after you had won an improbable Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. And I know that in Philadelphia, this is Howie Roseman's show. It is never the head coach's show. So to me, the Eagles are actually getting by because the roster is so good and because Howie Roseman continues to add at all times. So he's really the star of this thing. To me, the Philadelphia Eagles are a lot more like a baseball team than a football team in that the general manager, I think, is really the more important person in that organization than the head coach. So that's my little Eagles
Wow,
spiel.
you're definitely not getting invited to Nick Sirianni's Hall of Fame induction in Canton in 15 years, but go ahead.
Well, he'll be right there with Roseman. He should be thanking him first, second, and third. And then on the Green Bay side of it, so second straight loss at Lambeau. So clearly the flares are going to go up, Pearl. The claws are going to be out, the pitchforks out a little bit from the Packers faithful on head coach Matt LaFleur. And I thought the two biggest issues they had last night, two bonehead moments, were when the illegal formation that negated a 22-yard gain that actually got Green Bay in the red zone, which was like that was like impossible last night to even get in the red zone. So that was on a third down call, which killed a drive. And then the 4th and 1 where Josh Jacobs unfortunately fumbles the ball, gets stopped in the backfield, fumbles the ball, but they also were in illegal formation. Like they're not buttoned up, and it cost them last night.
Yeah, that was a terrible play call, by the way.
God.
They should have passed the ball there. They're very, maybe they're scared of Jordan Love. Maybe they're scared of the receiving core. Matt LaFleur, what do you have to lose at this point? Everybody kind of has you on the hot seat. I would just start chucking the ball downfield. I get it. You really want to win with running, but last night that wasn't working either. And by the way, Josh Jacobs, as Troy Aikman pointed out, made a massive mistake on the last drive. For some reason, turned the wrong way on a screen pass that would have put them into easier field goal range. Yeah, they're a mess right now. Talking about no rhythm. That offense just feels herky-jerky. And you lose at home to the Panthers, who then turn around and lose to the Saints. Something is desperately wrong right now with Green Bay. I don't know if they can fix it. Last year they did fix it, so I'm not totally giving up on them, but I can't believe how bad their offense is right now. It's really surprising to me.
Since that win at Pittsburgh where they won 35-25, it's been that 16-13 loss to Carolina, now a 10-7 loss to Philadelphia. And listen, I get you couldn't be chucking it down the field maybe last night because the wind was too much. There was the weather and the elements, and obviously that should be Green Bay's advantage, should it not? I mean,
well, that's a funny thing that they in recent years. I mean, Rodgers lost a bunch of playoff games at Lambeau. They have these California quarterbacks in Rodgers and Jordan Love, and that's why I think they want to establish Josh Jacobs. They have this great defense, but the Eagles are not the team to do that against. You're not going to out cold weather the Eagles, who are very conservative themselves.
Well, and also the Eagles front looks good, real good.
Yeah,
Last night they were getting tons of pressure on Jordan Love. The Packers lost a couple offensive linemen in this game, including their center. There's just I don't know if just saying we're going to chuck it downfield is the answer because I don't think any of the Green Bay wide receivers that are currently healthy on this roster are actually they're overrated. Except for Christian Watson. Christian Watson, it really is good, but
he had a drop last night. I'm not sure. I think it was him. It's hard to tell because they all kind of look the same, except they had, of course, Romeo Doubs with his Mario Kart.
Yeah, Lord Helmet.
Yeah. So, and
he got knocked out
you're
of the game
absolutely
last
right.
night.
But the thing is, they're putting Jordan Love in positions, it's 1st and 10. They so often are just going straight to Josh Jacobs. Put him in positions where the defense is really expecting a run and they go pass, and put him in a position where they're expecting a pass to go run. They're not really fooling anybody with the way their offense is.
They did it on this they bring in the extra blocker, and Troy Aikman calls it. They're going to go play action here down the field to Christian Watson, 22-yard gain, gets wiped out because of illegal formation. That's just a killer. But here's the other thing. I kind of have to disagree with you. 4th and 1, considering where you were on the field and you have Josh Jacobs, I actually have no problem with them running the ball there.
Yeah, but I think the Eagles knew they were running. It looked like they brought everyone up front to the box.
I guess. I mean, he is one of your best players, and he is one of the guys who I actually do trust.
But it would have been Tucker Kraft on that play, by the way, just so we're all clear. Absolutely, their tight end who got hurt. You're right. They don't trust anybody else as a pass catcher. At least give Jordan Love maybe a run option there.
Yeah, he got a little happy feet last night, too, because, listen, credit to the Eagles defense. They were all over him. We're asking you this question today. Will the Packers win a Super Bowl with Matt LaFleur? And results not good for the head coach. 93% of you right now are saying no. Listen, we're asking this coming off of back-to-back losses at home, Lambeau Field, to one of the mediocre teams in the NFL and one of the best teams in the NFL, and it looked kind of the same on offense against both. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, that even seems like, I think, a question we could ask too. Will he coach there past this year? I'd say it's 50-50 now. All depends on their finish. If they don't make the playoffs, I think he's probably out.
So we did get the second coach fired yesterday, transition. You're welcome to win, though, as Packer fans. How nervous are you? 888-710-4ISN, because you have major expectations on the season that got even raised higher once the Micah Parsons trade went through in late August. But meanwhile, second coach fired this season. You'll remember Brian Callahan, already been shown the door in Tennessee. Now Brian Daboll, bad moment for Brian Daboll now out as the Giants head coach, Pearl, at 2-8. Little surprised that the GM gets to stay, but there are some pieces. If Jackson Dart can stay healthy, where he's not right now because he takes too many hits, but if he can stay healthy, you have a little something with the quarterback. You have guys along the defensive line. You got Malik Neighbors. Like, you can squint and see some stars on this roster.
Really? I don't know. I think the last several drafts have been questionable. Joe Shane got there in 2022, and his record, other than really Malik Neighbors, like what's the move that he's made that you like? Jackson Dart, I guess.
Yeah, Dart, Abdul Carter. I mean, I still think Carter is going to be a thing. He doesn't have the sack numbers,
but he has the 3 overall
pressures.
pick. I would hope he'd be a thing. Like, yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a single say. He's a half sack, right? I don't know. I just
trading for Brian.
He doesn't have displayed success yet. So Brian Burns was a good deal, but there are a lot of busts on this draft list for Joe Shane. I don't think do you really fire a GM in week 9? I don't know if it's like a coach situation. You could have. I guess the Dolphins fired their GM, but generally, like I don't think that roster is great. You were talking about how Howie Roseman has built an easy to coach team. I don't see the Giants like that at all. This could be tough. I would probably, as you'd like to do, rip the Band-Aid and go new coach, new GM next year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think this is why the Titans are not an unappealing place, because we saw that report from Diana Rossini that Steve Sarkisian was even interested in the Titans. He refuted that, obviously, but with Cam Ward, you feel like you have at least something, and the defense with Jeffrey Simmons, you have something there. Same thing I would say with the Giants. Like, you have something if you believe that Dart can actually be healthy. Now, as far as the next head coach of the New York Giants, I think I have 2 fantastic options for them.
All right.
Uh-oh. Why uh-oh?
I don't know. Just you set that up. Now I'm nervous.
Why?
Two fantastic?
2 fantastic
options.
options.
The Giants, Maggie.
Yeah, I was about to say, whatever these 2 options are, I don't think they're going to end up being the head coach based on their recent hiring history, but please.
Well, if I give you 2 crappy options, you think that's more likely?
Yeah, that's more, if you're being realistic, yes.
Okay, well, my first advice to the Giants would be forget Belichick's tree. You did this, not Belichick. I know that his name's going to come up a lot because obviously it's not exactly been gangbusters at North Carolina. And they have this nostalgia because Belichick was with them for 2 Super Bowls back in the 80s. I know 80s and 90s is in. Don't go the nostalgia play here if I'm the Giants. This is an organization that has already been criticized for being far too loyal to people for far too long, except ironically these last couple coaches. Can't do it. No getting the band back together, and I can't even imagine that Belichick working with Joe Shane. Like, what? No way. I think that ship has passed. So that'd be my first piece of advice. Would you like to hear my realistic option or, well, I'll give you both of them. How about
that? Give them both.
Okay. This is my favorite one, and then I've got a backup. My favorite move for the New York Giants to find their next head coach is to trade for John Harbaugh. He's exactly what they need right now. You can't go with another coordinator. You've done that a million times. You've gone with former head coaches who then, got fired and had new opportunities and they're giving second chances. That's Pat Shurmur, okay? The coordinators, Joe Judge, and now Brian Daboll, and you've done it. I think John Harbaugh, it's possible he's available, Pearl, because the expectation for Baltimore is you've got to win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson. They haven't done that. The expectation for the New York Giants is you've got to be a consistent playoff contender. And John Harbaugh, I think it's just like your trash is my treasure kind of thing. Like he's one of the longest tenured coaches in the NFL. And I love the fact that he's an actual head coach. No more of this. We're just doing the defense. I know Joe Judge was a special teams coach. He was just terrible. no more we're doing the defense or I'm doing the offense type of thing. You need an overall culture-setting head coach. John Harbaugh is proven. I would trade for John Harbaugh. That's my number one option for the Giants.
What do you think you'd have to trade?
First-round pick.
That
Sean
might
Payton,
be,
I think, was a first-rounder, was he not?
Yeah.
That's
First of all,
steep price.
Okay, how about 2 seconds? Whatever.
No, it's the worst idea you've ever had, but please, I want to hear the second one.
Well, you liked it until I gave you the compensation, or you did like it.
No, the first round. Like, you
Okay,
can't give
2
up a first round
seconds
pick. You have the number 3 pick.
Oh, well, no, I don't like. Do they have a second first-round pick?
But also, I don't think you have to give up much. One thing, I like John Harbaugh. I like that part. But giving up a first round pick for him is out of the question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you're
Saints,
right.
the Saints gave up their first round pick, but that was a 29th overall pick.
Okay, fair.
Actually, the Broncos.
I forgot. Giants have 2 wins this year.
But
Can't,
I think
can't
John
give
Harbaugh-
up that high of a pick. Two seconds.
I think
But
John
maybe you
Harbaugh
give a
might be on
second
the
if-
hot seat in
yeah.
Baltimore. So I don't think you have to give up anything.
I mean,
Okay.
if Sean Payton went for the 29th pick, you could probably give him 2 seconds.
We
and-
could figure something out.
No, I think 1
Okay,
second.
you
would be
guys are
plenty.
losing the forest through the trees. Forget I ever said anything about the first-round pick.
But
Just
that's a big
stay
deal.
with John Harbaugh if he's available for
He could also be
trade.
fired. I mean, that's possible.
Yeah,
but
he's
if I were
definitely on the hot
Baltimore,
seat.
I wouldn't play it that way. Like I would see if someone will trade for him. Like why not? The Saints, like that was a smart move that they did with Sean Payton. Keeping him under
that's-
contract.
That's true. Okay, all right.
Okay,
we're getting
so
caught up on the
you're
first
getting
round
caught
pick.
up in the details. No,
yeah.
no.
Okay, we'll
2
forget
second
that. Yeah.
round.
Okay, I like
Erase
it.
that
John
part of the
Harbaugh,
podcast.
great
John
hire.
Harbaugh, 2 second-round picks. Forget the last 45 seconds ever happened.
Okay.
John Harbaugh, that's number 1. My plan B might be a little more expensive than what the Giants want to go for.
Okay.
It would be Ryan Day. And the Ohio State head coach, who, let's keep it a buck, everybody. If he loses to Michigan again, he can win 1,000 national championships in a row. You lose to that team up north, the pitchforks are out. And maybe you need a little change of scenery from, a fishbowl of Columbus, Ohio, to a much bigger fishbowl, but maybe New York City is a little bit more of a, do a little change of scenery there. I'm not saying any one's better than the other. This is not a coastal elite thing. I'm just saying he might want a little bit of a different vibe because it got pretty ugly in Columbus last year until they went on an improbable run to win a national title. And maybe that fishbowl, you might just want to switch it out for another fishbowl. In this fishbowl, the New York Jets take a lot of the shrapnel. So, sometimes you can hide a little. I think Ryan Day, who actually does have experience in the NFL, spent a couple of years with your Philadelphia Eagles, spent a year with the San Francisco 49ers, might give you a little shades of Tom Coughlin a little bit. Not so much in a personality, but Tom Coughlin, who was the last great Giants head coach, was also a college coach and had college experience and NFL experience, and that ended up working out very well for them. It was a very different time, but still, I think Ryan Day would be my backup. So trade for John Harbaugh would be my first option for the Giants. Ryan Day, the head coach of Ohio State, would be my second option.
Why would you compare Ryan Day to Tom Coughlin?
Just a guy who had a hybrid mix of college and NFL.
Style-wise, Tom
where Lou
Coughlin.
Holtz is right now.
No.
Yeah, I think you would.
Yeah.
I think you'd have. I mean, Ryan Day is not well thought of. I don't think. I think
Which
people
is
think
crazy to me. He could be appreciated in New York. I don't know if he's appreciated in Columbus.
I just think nationally they think he's got this Cadillac of an offense, and people question Ryan Day as a head coach. I think that would be a very polarizing pick.
Well, to be honest, all the really good teams in college football now have $20 million rosters, $25 million rosters. Like, it's not the same thing. It's not Nick Saban stashing 5 stars at every position.
But I think people think Ryan Day's success was riding the coattails of Urban Meyer, and I don't think that's ever gone away. I think that would be I think the college world would raise an eyebrow at that hire. I'd be very surprised. So I think Ryan Day, I know he's played at Temple. He has some ties to the Giants, as I recall, because he was in the mix last time. First of all, those are really good options. I really like the Harbaugh one. I wouldn't want to trade a high draft capital given the choice. I know you wouldn't want to either. I don't think they go that direction at all because they always hire assistant coaches.
So what do you think is going to be?
Peter Strager, who
option?
knows that team well, said Jeff Hafley, the Packers coordinator, defensive coordinator, and Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defense coordinator, will be the first 2 options.
So Spags obviously won a Super Bowl with the Giants as their DC.
And Brian Flores, who Bill Belichick thought they hired last time, remember that mistaken text, his name's already come up. So they've gone mediocre, a good OC, mediocre head coach again and again and again. Joe Judge, I guess, was special teams. But I think that they might go defense because they, I guess you get a defensive guy, and then you get the right coordinator for Jackson Dart, and you're set. That's my guess. Is
I
what
think
they
that's
do.
a recipe for failure. But
I would never hire a defensive coordinator, but I feel like the Giants might go that direction. And Hafley is going to probably get a job. So
who's the OC he's bringing with him?
Well, it's like kind of like if you could get, I don't have a name, but if you could get what Seattle got with Clint Kubiak this year and get a perfect match to personnel and coach, then you're psyched.
I mean, why not then just hire Clint Kubiak?
Kubiak, I think, will be in high demand. I mean, he's going to probably be the number one. If they can, he'll be like Ben Johnson this year. So can you get Kubiak? Probably. I assume Tennessee will offer Kubiak as well. I don't know. The Giants.
I mean, Kubiak seems a little close to Brian Callahan, though, for the Titans. And I'm not saying that should disqualify him from the job, but it's like son of a coach who was like an innovator in offense or had a good reputation, Bill Callahan.
But Callahan, he never did what Kubiak's doing in Seattle right now. He didn't have a year like that, as far as I know.
Well, then here's my question, though. If you're Clint Kubiak, who are you bringing as your DC? Because the Seattle Seahawks' success is, a lot for the offense, but let's be honest, this is a team, even just look at last week, we're doing Defensive Player of the Week because it is Tuesday, and if it's not DeMarcus Lawrence, I'd be really shocked. I mean, that was a really good defensive display.
Oh, yeah, but their offense has been top-notch. I mean, top 3 in the league probably, and almost every – Sam Darnold, I think, is number 1 in DVOA. So, but here's the question. If you're the Giants, I think, whatever you hired last time, you go the opposite, right? You're not going to keep hiring a version of Brian Dable. So I don't know if they go Clint Kubiak. I think what Schrager said might be right on. They might go with more defensive-oriented guy or like a John Harbaugh you mentioned, somebody like that who's an overall coach. I think they might want a tough guy in there. And now I know like a Tom Coughlin, I think they might want to go like get some grit back in New York and not go with the fancy offensive guy. Now, Ryan Day is not quite the fancy offensive guy, but I don't see them hiring a college coach either. I mean, it does make sense. I think they want to go with, somebody who gives an overall leadership, not just as an X and O's who will tell. It's not about play calling for Jackson Dart. It's about making this team get a winning culture, kind of like what you expected Pete Carroll to do in Vegas.
Yeah, it didn't happen. 888-710-4ISN.
Good idea,
Pete Carroll did not make my list. Funny enough, the offshore betting places have Lane Kiffin as the favorite. Now that would be a mistake. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. We can unpack all the laneness of it in just a moment. Plus, Perloff and I will give you the other openings we're expecting in the NFL when it comes to coaches. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
Hi, Maggie. Best time of year, no doubt about it. Football last night. How'd you do with Saquon in Prize Picks?
Amazing. I went less than on everything, and this game was a defensive battle. Your girl's a winner.
That's the thing. With Prize Picks, if you have a hunch, you can win big with it. It's so simple to use. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport. We're talking football, we're talking basketball, hockey, soccer, gaming. Pick more or less on the projections, and if you're right, you could win big.
Okay, how about a little college action tonight? DJ Wagner, Arkansas, give me more than 6.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Arkansas playing...
DJ Wagner's still in college basketball?
Yeah, believe it or not. And then also, how about a little Parker Navarro? I love the Ohio University, not Ohio State. This quarterback, Maction, like it's that time of the year, 189.5 passing yards. Pearl, give me more than. I love Prize Picks. We're obsessed with it around here, and the moment you play, you'll understand why. And it's so easy. All you have to do is download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code MNP. You get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MNP on Prize Picks. You get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. So win or lose, you get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
cries out, boo, boo. Bring it back, oh can't you see? Bring back the NBA on NBC. Let it be. Pete's mad, he's feeling sad. Bring it back, oh make it right.
We rolled in every morning, half asleep and half alive, talking sports and chasing dreams, just trying to survive. Now the lights are out, the board's gone black, and Pete ain't coming, he ain't ever coming back. Yeah, the mics are cold, but the story's burned. We gave it all till the final turn. Goodbye, infinity. We rode that wave like a runaway train. Now the soundboard's silent and there's no more pain. He's finally free from the 9 to 3, sleeping in his glory, living the dream. Yeah, Pete ain't showing up, not today. DA's laughing somewhere, raising a glass to the crew. We built a wild little empire, yeah, we saw it through. But Pete, oh Pete, he's a Hall of Fame ghost, clocked in twice a week. That's what he did most. He said, I'll be there soon. Yeah, we've heard that line. Now he's punching out for the very last time. Goodbye, infinity. It's been one hell of a beautiful mess. Talking tape and total stress. Pete's alarm's been dead since 24. He don't need it anymore. Yeah, Pete ain't showing up, not today, not ever every spark we had.
All right, this portion of the show is brought to you by Ethos Life, the easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Get your free quote at checkethos.com. Not available in all states. All right, Maggie, what's on your mind?
All right, so we'll get back to football in just a moment. Perloff and I have the other NFL openings that we think are going to happen now that Brian Daboll and Brian Callahan have both been fired. So that's 2 open in the NFL so far. But I got a question for the group here. Anyone who's got kids, what do you do with their teeth when they fall out?
Oh, sell them on the black market, of course.
Create dentures
Yeah,
out
I mean,
of them.
have you ever heard of voodoo? Like, they need those teeth.
So
Maggie.
that's kind of like why I said it, is because my kid lost another tooth yesterday. So obviously Tooth Fairy is coming.
Yeah.
But like, it's weird to me to keep them. Like, that's an odd thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to put them in a little bag and keep the teeth for what? It does feel a little like voodoo.
There's like a baby book that some people have, and I don't know if you have a baby book. I don't think people do it as much anymore.
My kid's 6, a baby book. But yeah, I get what you're talking about. Like, you can keep like a little hair from the first haircut and all that stuff.
Maybe the first hair,
But the
first tooth. Not, you're right. Don't throw it out.
No,
The
now you make a
teeth
necklace
are
with the remaining
weird.
ones.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Like Apocalypse Now style. What?
All of a sudden, complete the whole look with the headband.
Yep.
Christopher Walken. Maybe, that scene got dark.
That's Deer Hunter, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Same.
Same.
Yeah.
The very, very same theme. Yeah, no, you can't keep it. First of all, I think it's not completely healthy. Like, it's got bacteria on it. Where are you going to put it? Just in the kitchen?
Not in her pocket.
I know. Where would you keep it?
No, you can't. The first one you keep. After that, I
Okay,
safely...
but where and for how long? How long do I have to keep my kid's teeth when they fall out?
Also,
of his
too,
head?
he can't find it the next day, right? Because then he'll know the tooth fairy's a fake.
So I shouldn't have left it right on his play table? No,
No,
I didn't.
my kid was
I
wrong.
didn't.
That happened to us once where we forgot to throw out the tooth and my daughter got the money and she's like, yeah, the tooth you left it on the counter.
You mean the tooth fairy left on the
Yeah.
Anyway, it seems weird to me to keep like bones that were in my kid's mouth.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome in advance for this piece of material. The younger me, when I was in my New Kids on the Block phase, I had a Jordan Knight little tail.
Oh, wow, rat tail.
Yeah.
Haircut.
And my mom kept that for a little bit when I cut it off because it was, it's good for a laugh now or later on in life.
Kept it. How'd you keep it?
Formaldehyde?
No, I mean she had it. I don't know, like not in like an official like keepsake thing, but she had it like in a bag, like a sandwich bag, like in some where she has like the baby book, like in that kind of stuff.
Did she actually need the actual hair? Like the photograph is enough to embarrass you for the end till the end of time.
Because it was braided and they just cut it off, and so we had the braided thing, and it definitely stayed at my house in some kind of keepsafe box for a while.
Is your mom practice witchcraft?
I wish she did.
Yeah.
Hopefully for the forces of good.
By the way, I'm not. I could do a little spoiler. You guys absolutely explain the entire plot of Weapons in about 5 seconds.
Keep moving.
Wait, what?
I got to see that. Don't know. No.
Yeah.
This is a scary movie that Perloff saw over the weekend.
It involves New Kids on the Block?
Yes.
Yeah, Jordan Knight's in it.
Cool.
That's all I will say. But
Donnie Wahlberg
yeah,
is
this
the bad
stuff,
guy.
the bag of
Always
hair,
is.
like, what if it's like, okay, we're making a chili. What's in that plastic bag over there? I don't know. It looks like a bag of Boke's hair. I don't know. I just feel like
double toil and trouble.
Pinch of salt, pinch of tooth.
And also, how did you keep it? Like the hair, did she keep a rubber band around it so it stayed?
Yeah,
in
it was
the rat tail
braided
form?
and had a rubber band at the
braided.
end. Yeah, so
You had it braided?
Yeah, that's how everyone did. What do you mean? That's how it was.
That's kind of the headline here. Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I was cool then.
How old are we talking about?
I don't know. That's early 90s, right? So like 10 to 12.
Yeah, because you can't probably grow that much hair when you're 6. Okay, so that's awesome. Did you picture him as a braided rat tail?
No, but now I got Bogues his whole life.
Yeah, you're welcome.
As long as I know
That's a
that,
new
I got
version.
everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder it
You
took
were
Katie
kinda
15
cool.
years to marry you.
Well, that was gone before.
Before you met.
The other reasons why it was a slow burn.
Oh man, I remember once dating this guy in college, and he like came clean. He's like, I just want to tell you, at some point in my like younger life, like I used to paint my nails black, and I was like, you didn't have to tell me that. I'm never gonna know. I'm never gonna know you were a nail polish guy. It's all right.
But that's cool now.
Now
Maggie.
it's cool. Back then it wasn't.
But maybe you don't know. Maybe you're hanging out in the attic or somewhere, and you're like, "Why you got all this nail polish?" And then he has
Going
to
through the
explain
photos.
himself. Yeah,
God, you were goth.
right.
I say it's an ex-girlfriend, but Maggie,
That might
is
be worse.
Yeah, true. Is a ponytail a no-go for you as a single woman? Did you ever date a guy with a ponytail?
I don't think so, but man bun it had a very big
No.
run.
Yeah.
Ponytail, like hacky sack, like
Yeah, you can.
incense.
I'm going to be honest. Like at that point, it's not about the hair; it's about the face.
Yeah.
And if the face pulls off the ponytail, then you're good.
No, God. I don't really know anybody who actually had a ponytail except in movies.
You can talk about Sydney Sweeney every 14 seconds, but I'm the heathen.
You date a guy with a ponytail, that's saying way too much about that guy's
Unless he's a professional
personality.
wrestler, it's a no. Like if you're wrestling, like if you're like if it's like Rob Van Dam or Shawn Michaels, like you could. That's a
What
pass.
if it's the ponytail motorcycle combination? The women are powerless to stuff like that.
Well, Steven Seagal too. He had a ponytail once upon a time.
That's the 90s, not Bogus's rat tail.
No.
That was
Bogus was a 90s TV villain with that one.
That was a
Do you guys ever see that?
loser. Might as well have been
Say, you were
Take the
cool enough to be a villain.
compliment.
Just a high achieving wimp.
I was Doogie Howser's loser friend.
High achieving wimp. Wow.
All right, let's get back to the sports.
Before you leave Sydney Sweeney, did you see how bad that movie did this weekend?
Yeah, nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it. No, it averaged like $600 per theater. It was impossibly bad.
Honestly.
Literally historically bad.
Yeah.
But think about it. Think of how good a movie has to be for people to want to watch women boxing. It's like $1 Million Baby, which is, I actually didn't like that movie at all. Thought the ending was horrible. And I just don't think it's a popular
women
topic.
boxer movies?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a popular topic.
I can't think of another one. Now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I don't know if that's it.
It still has good reviews and good Rotten Tomatoes numbers. This Christie movie.
It's not a terrible movie.
But no one went to the theater.
I gotta be real. I don't know if she really hasn't had any box office hits.
No, this is the third straight one.
Yeah.
That
Oh no,
opened with
that
terrible.
rom-com was a huge hit.
That was
a commercial. Nobody saw that.
Glenn Powell. I thought that was
I thought that movie did well. That was the last good one. She's in a strange amount of movies, as if she films them nonstop. And there've been a couple that have opened since then that did nothing.
Okay, but
she was
balance
supposed
it
to
out.
be in Madam Web, which was a big budget
disaster,
movie,
right?
and just an utter disaster.
Flopped. But she's been in two really amazing prestige TV situations.
was not the
Euphoria.
lead.
She's not the lead, but Euphoria she was excellent in. Like really excellent. That's a horrible show. I can't watch that as a parent.
I can't watch it either.
But it's beautiful, the whole thing.
Critically acclaimed.
Creative,
Yeah.
the whole thing. It's just as a parent, it'll freak you out because it's about teenagers doing drugs. And she was in White Lotus the first season. She was excellent in that for the bit she was in.
Yeah, Anyone But You did really well. I'm seeing it for what it was. It was like the last successful. They don't make rom-coms anymore, but she did every movie. There was another movie that came out this year where she was sort of I don't even know what she was, and it had a huge director, like a massive superstar director. It was an all-time flop.
There's
too.
a movie that she's like a nun in. And there's a horror movie, or that's the same one. Like she's in a lot of things, and no one sees that.
There are not many real movie stars anymore, and that's the reality that a lot of actors and filmmakers have said. And there are people who are famous, but are they movie stars? Are you stopping whatever you're doing to go see them in a movie? There are very few people like that now. And even the young people that are coming up, they don't have that appeal, it seems like.
Maybe is it more about directors now, like Ryan Coogler and like
Kinda. Directors of franchises,
Yeah.
which is not great for the actor community.
By the way, not a boxing movie, but that the UFC movie with The Rock is supposed to be stunning.
I
have
loved
a
it.
friend, my
I
friend
watched
saw it this weekend, said The Rock should win the Oscar. Like he might not, but it's nothing like any Rock movie you've ever seen in your entire life.
No, he's really good.
Sports movies in general,
Yeah.
maybe wrestling is a little bit different or boxing is a little bit different, but to get critical, like to win an Oscar,
Yeah.
you
Well,
have to be
I
Rocky,
think
you got to
it's
be the wrestler, you got to
Yeah.
be these like crazy artistic
Yeah,
movies.
but the movie is sort of the spiritual sequel to The Wrestler. He's
Got
a
it.
down and out. Yeah,
That was Mickey Rourke. And
very much like the movie where Robert De Niro was a boxer.
Raging
Bull?
Raging Bull. It's got a Raging Bull vibe, so it's supposed to be good. And apparently, like The Rock is acting his, what's off. Amazing.
And the problem is it's the same thing where that movie also did terribly in terms of box office.
Oh, Sebastian Machine didn't do well.
Machine didn't do well in box office, and The Rock he's had to answer for a couple of now flops.
I feel like some of the
box
Marvel movies are also not doing well. Maybe people just aren't going to the movies.
It's a tough time for movies.
Well, no, it's a huge time for independent movies. Like
And the
they-
process from streaming,
Yeah.
from theater to streaming, is kind of hindering people from going to the movies because they can just watch it at home in 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, but there have been 3 big hits. F1, massive hit. Weapons, massive hit. And Sinners, big hit too. So you got to, it's been a year for original movies. Like you can't do the Marvel thing anymore. People are getting bored of it, I think, which is good. Anyone see F1?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Brad
okay.
Pitt, racing movie, obviously.
Yeah. That's really all you need to know. You just summed up there. That's the capsule.
There we go. All right.
Click buy.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Bogus got the headlines, and Perloff and I are going to do a fun NFL coaching draft. We'll tell you who is going to be the next spot open. MVP.
You're in a 5-minute break.
All right. I see one read here. I don't know if it's a first or the second.
rolling every morning, half asleep and half alive, talking sports and chasing dreams, just trying to survive. Now the lights are out, the board's gone black, and Pete ain't coming, he ain't ever coming back. Yeah, the mics are cold, but the stories burn. We gave it all till the final turn. Goodbye, infinity. We rode that wave like a runaway train. Now the soundboard's silent and there's no more pain. Pete's finally freed from the 9 to 3, sleeping in his glory, living a dream. Yeah, Pete ain't showing up, not today, not ever again. DA's laughing somewhere, raising a glass to the crew. We built a wild little empire, yeah, we saw it through. But Pete, oh Pete, he's a Hall of Fame ghost, clocked in twice a week, that's what he did most. He said, I'll be there soon, yeah, we've heard that line. Now he's punching out for the very last time.
2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff Show. All right, we did not get to it last segment, so let's get to Bogusch and his headlines. We are asking you a couple questions, poll questions today. Number one, do you think the Packers could win a Super Bowl with Matt LaFleur? And the results are rolling in right now, and it's not good for the Packers head coach. They lost last night 10-7. And then also asking you, do you keep your kids' baby teeth? After they fall out, obviously. See about those results. Bogues, what do you have?
I got headlines.
After they fall out, obviously. what does that mean?
Saying put the pliers away.
Headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com. Because the LSU Brian Kelly situation was not confusing and embarrassing enough, the head coach has now filed a lawsuit against the school over his buyout. Kelly's lawyers say school officials contacted them yesterday to say that Kelly was not, quote, formally terminated last month because AD Scott Woodward didn't have such authority. Now they are letting Kelly go for cause, which would allow LSU to keep some of that $54 million buyout. Kelly's lawsuit says the school must declare he was fired without cause and is therefore entitled to all he's owed.
Okay.
Only Louisiana, the governor, LSU, the school, only they can make Brian Kelly seem like sympathetic.
Yeah.
Just give the guys money.
You know what's so funny about this? So the first part about this is, one, if it's for cause, like that's laid out. It's got to be like egregious, violations of NCAA rules. It's got to be
which he did all that. Notre Dame, fine. You could fire him for cause there, but they didn't even fire him. Yeah,
he left. I just don't know, unless I missed the headline or there's something behind the scenes, I don't know what Brian Kelly has done. This is not, we've seen some coaches really go out in a blaze of glory getting fired for cause.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like that. But secondly, if you're Brian Kelly, you're probably thinking, not that you need $54 million for retirement, but you're planning a certain lifestyle here. And I watched that show SEC or Any Given Saturday or whatever on Netflix. This dude likes the finer things.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brian Kelly is a wine cellar kind of guy.
Yeah. But doesn't he already have $100 million in the bank?
I don't know, man.
There's never enough. We always keep saying that on this show. There's never enough money.
More is more.
I think it's one of the funniest headlines ever. Brian Kelly has a $54 million buyout, and the school's like, here, we'll give you $20 million. Why? I think it's EJ nailed it. To make Brian Kelly sympathetic. Did anyone hear that?
What? No, you just said we'll give you $20 million.
Yeah, no. I actually blasted my headphones to Pat Boyle levels, and I thought it might come through the mic. Anyway,
good.
Sorry. It's unbelievable. This story. LSU has made one tangent, cogent argument, and what is the Brian Kelly losing? Doesn't qualify, right, Maggie?
No.
Yeah. So this is the most crazy thing. Just give the dude his money.
I couldn't believe this morning I read that they were like, well, we didn't actually technically fire him yet. I'm like, I'm sorry. He's not coaching. Right. He just played a game where he was not on the sidelines.
We watched you play about? Alabama.
Right, with a whole different coaching staff.
Yeah, how about the Men in Black idea here? No, that didn't happen because Scott Woodward couldn't do this. There was a statement. He left. He was angry. The governor celebrated.
I can't believe that they're going to just try to win this in court. They're just going to try to do this legal thing, which is just more money, wasted money.
Yeah.
Silly.
And who wants this job now? I mean, someone's going to take it. It's still going to be a lot of money. It's still LSU, but you've got the governor breathing down your neck. I even think at one point, didn't the interim AD go, I'm the full-time AD, and you're not the full-time AD. This whole thing is a disaster.
Well, now they made him the full-time AD, right?
But I thought his email was premature, I thought.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a coach who has options, you might not want this one now. If it's between Florida and Arkansas, I don't know, whoever it'll be, Penn State.
Right.
Yeah, but I think your point is right, though. They'll get a big enough coach that'll have a chance to win. I don't think Alabama wanted Kalen DeBoer, and he's done well.
Although now you'd have to make your contract so ironclad that they're not going to try to screw you out of your buyout, which you'll eventually be cashing in on because it's college football.
But also, I think these buyouts have to stop. I saw Eddie Staples was writing about that yesterday.
Totally agree.
The structure is all messed up. College football has many, many things to address. Put that on the list.
Let's get to Monday Night Football at Lambeau. Not a lot of points, but definitely some drama for the Packers and Eagles.
Lining up with three receivers, shotgun snap, handoff Jacobs, flag is thrown. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage and taken down. Flag thrown back at the 39 is where Jacobs was hit. And let's see what the flag says.
That's Kevin Harlan on Westwood One. The flag said illegal formation on the Packers. The Eagles declined, kept the football, then survived Brandon McManus's 64-yard air quotes field goal as time expired to win at Lambeau 10-7. All those points coming In the second half, Devontae Smith caught Philly's lone TD. Jordan Love's squad has now dropped 2 straight and only scored 20 points.
Got to get back to the drawing board. Same thing as last week, get back to the film session. Trying to find ways to figure out what we're not doing as well right now. What's kind of keeping us in a funk and not letting us kind of get into a rhythm.
Green Bay also lost receiver Romeo Doubs and center Elgton Jenkins to injury last night. Joe Burrow returning to Bengals practice yesterday. Maybe he returns to game action on Thanksgiving night against the Ravens. And Dan Quinn will now call the Commanders' defense, not coordinator Joe Witt Jr.
So he's going to call the defense and the offense. He's been calling, Dan Quinn took over offensive play calling responsibilities, and he's going to call the defense too?
Going to do it all. He might punt as well.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
Dan Campbell took over offense. Dan Quinn's taking over defense.
I don't remember Dan Quinn taking it from Cliff.
Like, no wonder their offense has been so ass. Like, Dan Quinn's calling the plays.
I was like, I'm sleep deprived. Back to you.
In Miami last night, the Heat and Cavaliers went to overtime and then almost double overtime.
Nico has the rock, near side. Everybody's in motion. Gets it right at the rim. It's all over. The catch and throwdown for Andrew Wiggins, who's getting mobbed by his entire squad.
That's Jason Jackson on Heat Radio. That was a game-ending, out-of-bounds alley-oop to Andrew Wiggins. Miami 140, Cleveland 138. The Magic beat the Blazers 115-112 on Desmond Bane's buzzer-beating 3. And A's first baseman Nick Kurtz and Braves catcher Drake Baldwin voted Rookies of the Year. Kurtz, a unanimous selection in the American League. Guys, back to you.
I mean, they kind of look alike, right? Dan Campbell, Dan Quinn. Maybe not. Considering I went...
You could have been either one of them on Halloween.
Yeah, I was going to say, considering one was literally my Halloween costume.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, like, Dan Quinn, like, I know Belichick crossed over and called the offense sometimes, rarely. But I couldn't picture Dan Quinn, and I was like, wait, did Cliff get a job somewhere? I was definitely having trouble following you.
I must have just read over that yesterday because I was like, that's crazy. He's going to do both. And I was like, that's the wrong guy.
I just played along.
Commanders are a total and utter disaster. I feel like people aren't talking enough about that. They're hiding behind the Jaden Daniels injury. That defense is very, very low effort. The Lions pretty much had 12 yards of play the entire game.
I know, and I think it's funny because their GM, right, Adam Peters, came from San Francisco and had this real gangbusters like first couple of years. But do you know who left their organization? Who was working as a consultant for them? Bob Myers.
Oh yeah,
the NBA GM. Like he left, and now suddenly they're making bad decisions. I was like, is it possible he's a football guy too?
No, I can't buy that. What were the bad? I don't think there were any front office bad decisions.
Their defense got so old; they did not replenish the cupboard over the offseason.
I don't think they had the capability to do that. Like they're trying to avoid a total rebuild. They have to get. I think they kind of have to get young around Jaden Daniels.
Marshawn Lattimore trade was a bad move.
Well, yeah, he's old.
He's one that. Yeah, but he's not even that old, but he's just ineffective.
Well, how about this, too? I mean, is it not the front office's fault that Terry McLaurin got dragged out for as long as it did? Again, I don't think Bob Myers actually was making, like, football decisions as far as, like, who should be, your backup middle linebacker. But
McLaurin was playing serious hardball. Like,
he was showing up.
He was playing. Remember, he wanted to be, like, top 3 receivers paid in the league and was very vocal about it?
Listen, they ended up giving him a lot of money. I'm just saying.
They ended up folding.
Right. So if you're going to fold anyway, why not have him for training camp? I don't know.
I think you could also question their draft, too.
Here's the other part. Jaden Daniels had some injury stuff even at LSU. He's an amazing quarterback when he can play. But is it turning out that this is just Drake May was this draft? I mean, Caleb is good, Pearl, but inconsistent. Definitely arrow up. Jaden Daniels, we'll see. Michael Penix, we'll see. Bo Nix, we can't figure out if he's a lead or not. Their defense is amazing.
Well, Jaden did go to the NFC Championship.
Oh, he's amazing.
We can't just take that away from him.
Not taking it away, but got to be on the field.
I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at the draft the last couple of years. Like, man, they've hit on a lot of guys. I don't know.
This
also they got
Bill. Besides Bill,
Bill Crossy.
Yeah, he's
Josh
starting.
Connolly's fine, isn't he? Or is he? I don't even know.
Well, the problem is they were a team that had all this old defense. Where's the speed on defense?
They only had 5 picks in the draft, but a couple years ago they got Johnny Newton. That guy's awesome out of Illinois. He is fantastic. And Mike Samuelsel, the guy who I don't know why he fell in the draft. He's good too, but I mean, listen, the quarterback's hurt. You called that they were going to fall off before the year, Maggie.
I thought this was a classic regression team. They won so many one-score games last year, and they went on that great run, but it was hard to sustain. Okay, coming up, Joe Burrow.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
If you love defense, well, last night was your game. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Final score, Philadelphia 10, Green Bay 7. And while we'll get into Nick Sirianni's questionable decision-making at the end of the game, didn't cost them, but the process on that was a little funky. The Packers are now really left to pick up the pieces here, Pearl, and they've lost 2 games in a row at Lambeau. Last week it was the Carolina Panthers. Stunning upset. They were, I think, a 8-9 point favorite in that game at least. And then obviously this week it's an elite team in Philadelphia who is coming off their bye, so a well-rested team, and it just looked really, really bad. Jordan Love was under duress all night long. Wide receivers couldn't get open. Windy night, couldn't even get the run game going. It was just like you think in these slog games that you need your coach and your quarterback to really differentiate you, right? And it just felt like on both fronts, Green Bay could not find an angle.
Yeah, we were worried coming to this game about the offense without tight end Tucker Kraft, who'd been their best player all season, weapon-wise. There's a disconnect right now with Matt LaFleur as a head coach and this offense. For some reason, there are drives where Jordan Love looks great. There are many drives where Jordan Love is missing guys. Last night, even LaFleur, who's Mr. Nice Guy, got frustrated with Jordan Love because he missed a wide-open Christian Watson. There's just something is off. Whatever, I don't know if it's the play calling. I don't know if it's the talent level. Whatever, it's not all working together, and they better turn around fast. Because if they don't make the playoffs, I think Matt LaFleur is in massive, massive trouble there. I think he's already on the hot seat. And at 5-3-1, if this goes south even further, it's going to be bad.
Oh, not making the playoffs would be unconscionable, considering the massive Micah Parsons trade that they made, considering this is Jordan Love, like walking into his opportunity.
$50 million plus quarterback.
Oh, yeah, getting paid. And I think there's a couple things. I do think that the play calling has been a little sus, as the kids say, and I think there's a little to be desired there.
I don't think the kids say that anymore, but please go ahead.
They moved on. Okay.
Yeah. By the time we know it, they've moved on.
All right. I'll still say it for 6 more months. And then after that, I think this wide receiver core is very banged up. You know, Reed has been hurt. There was no Matthew Golden last night. You already mentioned Tucker Kraft, the pass catching tight end. And they also on the broadcast pointed out what Tucker Kraft did in the run game as far as blocking. So they've lost some major pieces. And I think the other guys just might not be as good as we thought. Like maybe they are just a tad bit overrated. I don't know about Christian Watson necessarily, but Romeo Doubs can't stay healthy.
He's good. Actually, Dobbs is really good.
They're good when they're out there, though. He even left the game last night and was not there for the fourth quarter, which is where this game was ultimately decided.
Yeah. There were some big drops by the receivers. Love, I think, had a better game than people realized because he threw some darts 20 yards downfield into tight coverage. And by the way, this was a tough assignment. One thing, losing to Carolina was one thing. The Eagles' defense was on it last night.
They were so good.
When Jalen Carter's on the field, that is a good defense. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then, obviously they really love what they have with Jalen Phillips. And the fact of the matter is that at one point in the game, Lane Johnson, the all-world, all-pro.
Future Hall of Fame right tackle.
Of course, like the future everything tackle left the game, and you think that's where you could maybe even take advantage. And to be honest, the Packers defense did their job and then some. They did their job last week.
Their defense is awesome. They have so many good players. Quay Walker is really fun to watch. Edrin Cooper is a star. Micah Parsons is still as fast as ever. I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised they're not letting up a lot of points. They couldn't really get the turnover that led to points last night. That was one thing I guess they're lacking. Like, I think it.
Oh, the takeaways? I don't know. They forced a fumble on Jalen Hurts.
But in their own red zone. But generally, I think the way this offense is playing, they're going to have to be the 2000 Ravens. They're going to have to do the scoring here.
Which is crazy because that 2000 Ravens team had Trent Dilfer at the quarterback who was not making $55 million. And this is a different story.
No, I mean, the offense is broken. I'm not totally giving up on them, by the way, because if you look at their schedule, I know they have the Bears coming up and they play the Lions tough. I think they have a chance to turn around. Listen, they'll go against an interim coach with the Giants this week, Mike Kafka, former Eagles quarterback. And then they have Minnesota. I don't know about them. I think there's a chance to turn it around because last year we give up on them last year? And then all of a sudden they started to sneak in a bunch of wins at the end of the year. And Jordan Love turned his season around after the knee injury. I'm not totally giving up on them, by the way. I think they need to open it up. I keep saying this. You're right, the receivers aren't great, but just at least take your shot.
Well, the other part, too, is the weather is going to start getting worse. So, the idea about opening it up now, you got to figure out and pick your spots. Plus, the metrics will tell you that they are getting a lot of yards through the air. It's just not what you want the last 2 weeks. Okay, let's hear from Matt LaFleur. So he was asked after the game about whether he's worried about his job security.
I'll leave that for everybody else to decide. I'll just focus on the day-to-day and trying to do – I feel like you're always coaching for everything in this league. That's just my mindset. It's always been that way.
Okay, here's more from Matt LaFleur, who obviously is an offensive-minded head coach, offering some details on the offense's inconsistency and says it starts with him.
When you look at it, like I mentioned, just a lot of those situational ball, we just weren't clean and had, whether it was penalties, there was a drop there on a fourth down. I'll always look at myself first and foremost. Are we putting the guys in the right plays?
Yeah, I look at myself, but also catch the ball. The illegal formations, there were 2 of them that happened in this game. One wiped out a 22-yard gain from Christian Watson. That was a big moment in the game. I mean, it was really hard for either of these teams to get just in the red zone, let alone these actual legit scoring opportunities. And that Devontae Smith touchdown, the only touchdown in the game, didn't even happen in the red zone. It was a 36-yard touchdown pass. And then on a 4th and 1, I understood why LaFleur wanted to put it in Josh Jacobs' hands. But Pearl, to your point, Philadelphia was ready for it. They were all over it. They punched the ball out, and it was an illegal formation anyway. It was just all bad.
Yeah, they were definitely, and maybe that's because of losing Jenkins, but the offense has been janky all, even though, you're right. They do have some explosive yards, but you look about how they did that. It was against, remember they had the 40-40 shootout with Dallas. That game was bananas. They should have won that game, and they played Cincinnati. I think it's going south. The Carolina game was so depressing. I really thought, they were favored by 1.5 last night. I thought they were going to win. Even early on when the Eagles failed to capitalize on a couple offensive opportunities, I'm like, okay, it's a home game. Green Bay is super desperate because they're in a real race. The Eagles aren't playing for anything.
No one else in the division has an even above 500 record.
Right. They're waltzing to the NFC East crown where the Packers are playing for everything. I thought desperate at home, big Monday night crowd. Yeah, that was just a nothing burger. So that's why I am actually really buying into this Matt LaFleur hot seat.
Okay, so this is the weird, if a Twitter poll can be any indication of where the public is at, kind of feels like people are in conflict. And let me tell you what I mean by that. We put out one question that says, will the Packers win a Super Bowl with Matt LaFleur? Pearl, 91% say no. Then we put out a poll that said, will Matt LaFleur be the head coach of the Packers next season? 64% say yes.
Right.
So he's going to be around next year, but you're not going to win a Super Bowl with him. Then what are we in this for? This is not a team that's in a rebuild. This is a team that's in their window.
Yeah, but you're not going to fire everybody who doesn't make a Super Bowl. I mean, that's kind of unfair.
Well, you just said you can understand why he's on the hot seat.
No, I can understand. Well, listen, he has to make the playoffs. That's for sure. But I would answer that poll yes.
Which one?
I think that it's more likely than not that he gets to the playoffs this year and keeps his job. He's got an incredible regular season record. The question is, if you think that they have to make the Super Bowl, I think it's too soon. It's not like the Marty Schottenheimer situation where Marty was 14-2 and they fired him. But it's been years and years and years. Matt LaFleur is in year 6, and he's only in year, 3 of Jordan Love starting? And it's been good. I can't believe they made the playoffs last year. I don't think we're giving them enough credit.
Okay, I think you and I see this differently.
They won a bunch of games with Malik Willis last year.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. Listen, he's an offensive coach. I thought Malik Willis. I was really surprised actually that he looked even competent out there, considering what it looked like in Tennessee. But here's the other question. For as much as I'm not that sold on LaFleur, answering this question is very hard. And the question is, who would you replace him with? And I asked the same question about, Green Bay or Buffalo, these teams where you're knocking on the door, and Buffalo's even further along, I would say, than Green Bay. You're knocking on the door and you're winning enough games in the regular season to stay competitive, but you can't beat some of your rivals or whatever. What do you do there? Who do you actually replace this person with when the bar is so high?
Well, just get the hot young offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah, but see, there's always a little bit of a risk in that because now you're handing over like a ready-made situation and one that is, you're asking now an undefined and untested person to now get this team over the top. If you think if they fired Matt LaFleur, they would just replace him with
well, what if they get
the guy from Tampa? I don't know if you can do that.
What if he's Dave Canales? What if he's Nick Sirianni?
Well, Dave Canales hasn't won jack, so I don't know.
But he's
they just lost to the Saints at home. This is an inconsistent operation.
Pretty good. What if he's Shane Steichen?
Shane hasn't. He didn't win in Philly. You guys came really close, and now he's in Indianapolis, and we'll see what happens. Are they really what the record says they are?
I don't know. He's got the Colts at 8-2. I think he's pretty darn good. Listen, I'm not a retread guy. I think that you'd be better off trying to find the next one, especially if Green Bay, because you have the potential to be a really special team. Listen, you have to start somewhere. Sean McVay had to get hired somewhere. Kyle Shanahan had to get his first job. You have to find somebody here. By the way, I actually
think Sean McVay was in the Super Bowl by year 3.
Right. I'm saying you got to find your next Sean McVay.
They thought they had that with Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, well, hasn't been there yet.
All right, so now you got to reload it. Okay.
By the way, I'm very curious where Brian Flores goes. That would be a defense he'd be terrifying with. The blitz with that team, that'd be really cool.
But the defense isn't the problem.
Yeah.
See, that's my thing. So we've been talking a little about, coaches who could be stepping into bigger roles, especially off the news yesterday that Brian Daboll was fired in New York. And Brian Flores' name has come up quite a bit. Obviously, he's now the defensive coordinator in Minnesota. Listen, Miami, where he coached before, is obviously not a well-run organization. Clearly, the Dolphins have lots of issues. They haven't won a playoff game since 2000. There's so much there that's bad. But his specific issue in Miami, Pearl, was that he basically destroyed the confidence of Tua Tagovailoa. Tua, who had played for a really hard-ass coach in Nick Saban. I think it'd be hard to rattle this dude. And it feels like Brian Flores, crushed the kid to a point where they had to hire Mike McDaniel, who is a glorified cheerleader, right? And had to make the offense so easy for them and all of that. I'm not sure if Brian Flores has shed that, whether the stigma or whether it's a, reputation or what have you, because he comes from this Belichick tree that is just so hard on these guys. And what he did to Tua, that's not nothing. So if I'm the next head coach and I have a Jackson Dart or another young guy, do I want Brian Flores? Can I trust that he's going to take care of my quarterback?
Listen, probably not. The thing is, I think everyone's going to want an offensive coordinator. I understand that Mike McDonald's doing really well in Seattle, but I think that part of that is because their offense is so shiny. I don't think the Mike McDonald Baltimore Ravens formula is really happening right now. Their defense is not, it was great on against Arizona, but their defense is not winning games for them. It's been offense. So I think that everyone's going to go offense this year. I think if there's 7 coaches opening, I think 5 will be offense. Now, if Vrabel last year has done great, and he's a defensive guy, obviously, but he was so tied to New England that was obvious.
Well, and let's also call it what it is. Josh McDaniels is a terrible head coach and a fantastic offensive coordinator. And I think he's done really good things for Drake May. Yeah. He's a punchline when it comes to head coaches, but as an offensive coordinator in New England, he's tops.
Yeah, and also the defensive, even with Vrabel doing well, and obviously you guys, Sean McDermott wins a lot, but you got Raheem Morris has come up short in Atlanta. I think Dan Quinn is now falling apart. In Washington, Jonathan Gannon is probably, I think we'll get to that later. I think he might lose his job in Arizona. Defensive guys haven't done great either. I think you have to aim high. You have to try and find somebody who's your Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. That's what I would do.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Would love to hear from the Packer fans. Does Matt LaFleur deserve to be on the hot seat? All right, we're going to take a quick break. We have college to get to. Do you think we would forget about the B-Mock? The big moment on campus, the big man on campus? This is all-timer It's the beef I didn't even know existed or that I needed in my life. 2 head coaches going at it. We'll go back to college in just a moment. Plus, again, you can weigh in, and we'll get to Nick Sirianni's terrible decision at the end of the game, which did not cost his team. Passing the ball on a 4th and 6 with 33 seconds left at your opponent's 35 to try to ice the game. Spoiler, it didn't. Pass falls incomplete, hands the ball back to Jordan Love, and they at least attempted a game-tying field goal that went way wide to the left. But Sirianni had to answer for that boneheaded decision, even though his team won the game. We'll get to that. So much to do. So glad you're with us. It is the Maggie and Perloff Show. We'd also like to say a happy Veterans Day to everyone out there, and thank you for your service.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
You never know what you'll see during the college football weekend. Here is Maggie and Perloff's big moment on campus.
All right, it's Tuesday. There was a lot that happened in the college football weekend that we didn't get to break down yesterday. But what was the big moment on campus this week, Maggie?
All right, well, first we've got to look back to last week's big moment on campus, and that was Kirk Herbstreit, not a fan of the Oklahoma kicker and his short shorts.
Let the Volunteers know he's got his short shorts on. I guess that's no longer frowned upon in the sport.
Yeah, I guess not. It is with me, but
those are the shortest I've ever seen on a football field.
Should be
right?
No, that should be a penalty. Just dressing like that should be a penalty. What the hell is it?
And imagine we give penalties to people in real life for the stuff they wear.
Well, that actually is a penalty because you have to touch your knees, right?
Oh, a uniform violation.
And I think I don't know if you give a penalty, you definitely would get something for that. I think they said that you were supposed to throw a flag on, like he's not allowed to do that. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the refs are into it. And I have no idea. Anywho, that was last week's big moment on campus. This week, we bring you the coaching beef that I didn't know existed and that I didn't know I needed in my life. Here is ESPN's Bob Wischusen pointing out that Syracuse head coach Fran Brown and Miami head coach Mario Cristobal had to be separated mid-game by officials.
Far side of the field to watch Mario Cristobal and Fran Brown. They're going back and forth, and the officials almost had to stand in between both to stop them from jawing at each other. Not sure what that was about.
All right, well, Fran Brown apparently wanted the smoke with everybody associated with the Hurricanes. Here he is warning Michael Irving about something, and we've bleeped this, so don't worry.
How you doing? All due respect. I love how you play. Don't get used to this. I got you, coach. I got you, coach. I appreciate you, coach. I appreciate your intensity, coach. That's good. That's what it takes. Good job, man. Good job.
Good job cursing me out. All right. After the game, and of course it was a Miami victory, 38-10, Mario Cristobal downplayed the beef with Fran Brown.
It's just competitive, I think people overblow stuff, man, so it's football, man. You know what I mean? Play ball, let the players play, and that's about it.
That was courtesy of the Joe Rose Show. More from Cristobal responding to Fran Brown said that Miami was on the verge of quitting in this game that they won by multiple scores.
The comment, I guess he said on TV, we had Miami on the brink of quitting at half before you guys scored a couple of touchdowns. And I know everything gets back to you. You just kind of let that stuff go, and that's part of everybody being competitive.
I don't, the talk game is cheap,
Yeah.
I didn't look like a quitting bunch at 38-3.
Pearl, the coaching beef we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
Fran Brown v. Mario Cristobal. Although I don't know if Fran Brown is long for the ACC. I don't know what's going to happen. Syracuse has won 3 games this year, but I think they're on their 3rd quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you saw it because of your Bills. It was super hot in Miami this weekend. I think the humidity got everybody cranky. That's my best explanation for why this was going on. I told EJ that Fran Brown gave the sweatiest in-game coaching interview I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm like, was that dude playing cornerback? Why is he sweating from top to bottom? Yeah, I mean, I'm so sorry to say this because I know I was born there, and I know Syracuse football is so irrelevant. I mean, that's like punching down for Mario Cristobal.
Well, Syracuse beat Miami last year in the last game of the regular season.
That's
and really
true.
dashed their college football playoff hopes, to a large extent. But it's obviously been a much different game. Fran Brown should be used to this. He coached at Georgia, didn't he? He's got to be used to the heat. Anyway, that's your big moment on campus, the beef between Fran Brown and Mario Cristobal.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fred Brown wanted to get into it with everybody at Miami. There's a video of him wanting to yell at a fan. Him and a fan are going back and forth when he's going into the tunnel. I don't know. Maybe Perloff's right. Maybe it was the heat. He's very ornery.
Yeah,
for
I
a
mean,
game where he knocked us out of the playoff last year. Like there was no and he spoke highly of the program last year. Like I don't think that we came in like overlooking them at all. I don't know why he had this chip on his shoulder.
He needed a Snickers.
Best explanation I've heard. I was thinking maybe going back to the Georgia days, maybe he competed a lot for recruits.
Maybe Cristobal was at Alabama. That could be something. I can see that.
Like that.
He also was head coach at Oregon. Oregon recruits the South a bunch as well.
Right.
Well, as for the heat,
Leftover.
though, he's been up in central New York. His blood is probably not used to the heat anymore.
No,
you lose it when you're up in New York.
Which is funny, though, because I feel like the same is not true for the cold. I grew up in a super cold place, and I don't feel like I ever got used to it. I think you get used to the heat. I can't ever get used to the cold. And I grew up in a place that had the second most cloudy days in the country.
Well, there are people. I told you I went to college with a kid from Alaska. It'd be 22 degrees out, and he'd be wearing shorts and a T-shirt. He was like, this isn't cold. So there are people who do that. Not you.
Yeah, do you have to be from Alaska to happen?
Yeah.
I'm basically from Alaska-like.
By the way, Pearl, I know
Cloudier.
you were dissing the Syracuse program, but I think you got love for Fran Brown. I mean, he's basically a Philly guy. He's from Camden. He went to Camden High School. So
Sixers fan like myself.
Now Perloff loves him.
Well, it's not Fran Brown. I think actually he's awesome. I really like him. But Syracuse football doesn't seem to be interested in being like a contender at any point. Have they actually? I remember the Donovan McNabb year was the one brief flash in my life where I jumped, and Bogues, you'll laugh at this, I jumped on the Orangeman bandwagon in a big way, football-wise, because I was born in Syracuse. I've born into rooting for this football program, and they've given me basically nothing since Don McPherson. It's been bad.
I mean, to track Perloff's fandom,
Well, college, I'm very
it's like
consistent
people
in college.
trying to find serial killers.
Yeah.
Like it's up on the board with all these strings kind of attaching to
Your
one thing to the
basements.
next.
Like I saw a map of like Stanford's travel in the ACC this year. That's pretty much Perloff's
Yeah, it's coast
fandom.
to coast.
Yeah,
But
coast to
what
coast.
do I legitimately get the big five college basketball schools in Philadelphia? There's no reason I can't root for them. Everybody roots for the big
But
five.
they're rivals with each other.
But if you didn't go to one, then you root for all of them.
Pearl,
Why would I root for? Why would I root for Temple over Villanova? Like
Pearl,
what?
you wear North Carolina basketball.
So my uncle was a dean of North Carolina law. Half my family's from Chapel Hill.
So
So I grew up. My Aunt Sibby sat me down and said, "You have to watch this game with me." I've been
Michael
watching
Jordan
North Carolina
today.
basketball since I was 5.
It must have been tough to watch North Carolina hoops. I mean,
Sit down. Ed Cota and Shimon Williams are playing here.
Yeah. Oh
that
my
must
God.
have been such a difficult thing.
She was 86 years old, and we were at a massive holiday party, and she disappeared for 2 hours to watch North Carolina NC State, a meaningless ACC game.
Oh,
she
you're
was
crazy.
hardcore.
That's a rivalry.
Nah, I mean it was recently though. It was
Oh.
yeah, NC State. It's not
This was
Rodney
not,
Monroe.
yeah,
NC
no,
State.
this was not Eric Montross.
yeah.
Joe Forte's not walking through that.
No, it was the NC State side that hasn't really done much. Anyway, that's besides the point. This is what Aunt Sibby has done to me. I'll break down ACC hoops for an hour here. Yeah, I think I get North Carolina.
And Syracuse, because you were there once.
I was born there, dude.
Did you live there?
6 months, yeah.
6
Before
months.
moving to Philly.
Basically, just
What do you think? I just
tap into the blood. It's
like
orange.
my mom and dad were like, let's go. The healthcare is great in Syracuse. Let's drive by, pop out of Andrew, and then go somewhere else.
Yeah,
I'd
they're
live
driving
there.
through town looking for another team to root for, and you're
I'm going to be
water broke in
honest.
Syracuse.
All the amazing people from upstate New York. All right, let's
Bogues,
get to Bogues.
Bogues, where were you born?
New York, Queens.
Oh.
And I like all the teams from around here. I'm not
What
mixing.
did you think he was going to say? He was
I don't know,
born in
like-
Wichita?
So wait, does he get St. John's even though, yeah, right?
No, he roots for Fordham.
But
I mean,
he's
yeah.
a Fordham guy,
I
though.
could theoretically. I was born into my mom
No,
works
no.
at St. John, so under your logic, I might as well be Rick Pitino's top assistant.
Why are Fordham and St. John's, they're not rivals?
I wish
so
they
you
were,
can
but
have
they are
both
not.
teams.
Yeah, no, it just still feels like cheating.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I'm much more liberal on this topic.
That's not the word I'd use.
Yeah. The fact that you wouldn't root for St. John's because you went to Fordham, that's giving too much credit to Fordham.
No, but I never rooted for St. John's to begin with.
Really? As a kid, you didn't get on that bandwagon?
No. This is you're barking up the wrong tree. The real genuine problem with Perloff's fandom is that you are diehard Philadelphia. You couldn't even help yourself. Had to wear the hat today.
Yeah.
Right? Had to wear the Eagles hat. Half your wardrobe is Philadelphia adjacent.
Yep.
But you love Dak Prescott.
I like individual.
You love Shohei.
Love
you
players.
love these guys who like directly stand in the way of your teams reaching the pinnacle. Maybe not Dak Prescott lately, but you know what I mean.
would say I love Dak Prescott, by the way. He's not really one of my guys. But like Jahmyr Gibbs, that's my guy.
Again.
But because Maggie, you love these people too. For example, because you've met them, right? Like, isn't that a big deal?
Listen, I would have told you Deshaun Watson should have run for office. We don't know these guys, and that's the extreme example, but we just don't know. I can admire them, what they do, because I can't do it. But
I think the difference
it's
is
a
like
difference.
loving the guy who's not on your team and then say, oh, well, that guy's a really good player. And also, like, when that team faces your team, not like still professing the love for the guy.
Well,
that's
like
probably the deal.
That's like the dilemma. What if you have a fantasy football playoff match coming down the wire and the wide receiver is going against your team? Fandom can be, I don't know, stretched a little bit.
Listen, as a Jets fan, I have totally been in the moments where I'm like, yep, I'm definitely going to need a nice 300 yards from Tom Brady today.
Yeah, totally.
Listen, he's getting those 300 yards whether you're betting on him or not.
Did you see, for example, and I'll bet you we're going to do this story at some point, Bogue said Alex Singleton announced he had testicular cancer.
That.
We interviewed him twice, and he was lovely.
Yeah, he
so
was.
Sure.
I was really, and it was a great note he sent because I think he's like, I could have hid this, but I wanted to raise awareness. He's a Broncos linebacker. I've rooted for that guy since the interview. I know, but why not? These athletes are incredible. You can root for these guys individually, I think, without betraying your allegiance to your home team. I think that's my opinion, and I know a lot of young kids root for players over teams, so it's not always the back of the jersey.
Oh, yeah, no,
it's always the front of the jersey.
You can root for players. My bigger issue would be claiming when you already have 6 Philadelphia college teams to root for, you're claiming Syracuse, you just summered there one year.
Well, by the way, what's the last time they won a title? Hakeem Warwick from Friend Central High School in Philadelphia. Once again, all comes back to Philly.
Your headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with our easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com. They had an extra day to bounce back from last Sunday's home dud against the Panthers, and the Packers scored fewer points on Monday Night Football and lost their second in a row. Matt LaFleur's team is now 3rd in the North, 7th, barely in the postseason in the NFC.
I think that's something that obviously we're struggling with finding the right solutions right now. So we got to take a long, hard look at that and come up with a better plan. Bottom line, you score 7 points in this league, you're probably not going to win many games.
The Eagles scored just 10 to win at Lambeau last night. Neither team scoring in the first half, the first time that has happened since the 2023 season. Jake Elliott kicked a short field goal in the third. Jalen Hurts threw a touchdown pass to Devonta Smith in the fourth to get Philly win number 7. Nick Sirianni, as only he could, proud of his team's toughness.
Shoot, these guys are here because they're ultra competitive and ultra talented. But, you know, I feel like we got a good football team, and you don't make it on this football team unless you got extra stuff too, right? And you don't, and we got guys with extra stuff in them.
Yeah, put that on a
He's
t-shirt.
real way with words.
Extra stuff
Didn't he say
in 'em.
that when he got his introduced? He said, "Yeah, I'm the fertilizer. This thing's
Oh,
gonna
that
grow."
one.
That was always good. Listen. The bigger thing with Sirianni is just what in the world are you thinking passing on 4th and 6 in that situation? Whoever called that play, like, is that a moment, Paul, where actually, like, Jalen Hurts should just be like, "I didn't hear it. Like, it didn't come through the headset."
Well, what would your pass play have been? Just out of curiosity.
It would have been a punt.
It's like throwing it down to A.J. Brown is probably their highest percentage pass play because Jalen Hurts doesn't do the one play he has is he rolls out and he hits Dallas Goedert, but I assume the Packers knew that was coming. So he can't do the intermediate passing game. That's
but he should have punted it.
punt from 35.
Yeah, punt the ball. That's
he definitely should have punted. But I think a lot of coaches in that situation, because a punt in that situation always goes in the end zone. So you get down to the 20, and they're going to have a drive anyway.
Well, you could also squib kick it, and you could try to run a few more moments off the clock there. This is what I didn't understand, even going back before this, not to get mired in the details of just last night, but these end-of-game situations for Nick Sirianni can sometimes be baffling to me. And he's not the only coach, but his seem incredibly weird. So, they have the ball, 5 minutes, 49 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter, holding on to a 10-7 lead. This is Philadelphia, okay? They start taking time off the clock. It's running. You get down to 2 minutes and 38 seconds, okay? They run the ball for 2 yards. So now it's 2nd and 8.
Yeah.
2:34. Incomplete pass on 3rd and 8. Then they take a 5-yard penalty, and now you're punting the ball away. On that side of the 2-minute warning, why are you not at least running the ball and forcing Green Bay to take their timeouts?
Because you want to get a first down to seal the game. You don't want Green Bay's offense to get the ball back.
That's fine. But why then also are you going to 2 pass plays to try to get the first down? Why would
Because the running games, because you could see towards the end of the game, the run game was not going to get the first down. They weren't getting anywhere on a lot of those plays at the end.
I don't know. You got Saquon Barkley, for goodness sake. I'm not saying you have to run it through the teeth of the defensive line for Green Bay. I'm saying doing more things around the line of scrimmage, or these jet sweeps out, or Jalen Hurts running the ball, or anything else that doesn't put the ball in the air and stop the clock, which is what happened.
Yeah, I think a lot of coaches now, I think the new trend is be aggressive to try and keep the ball out of the other team's hand at the end. Because it's you're giving the other team a chance to score with 4 downs. It's always tricky. For example, if they had run the ball into the line twice there and had to punt on the other side of the 2-minute warning, I think they would have gotten down to the 2-minute warning. The Packers would have had about 1:30.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but here's the thing. You have the most unstoppable play in sports. So you don't even have to pick up 8 yards. All you got to do is pick up 6 and then run the dumbass push.
Well, the Packers just started moving up to the box. They weren't getting the 4th and 1 in that situation. You saw it on the next drive.
Like it's obvious.
You saw it on the next drive. They ran 3 plays and they got 3 yards.
But Saquon Barkley had also just ripped off a 41-yard, all they did was just do a quick pass to him, and he found this open lane for the biggest play of the game.
Right, that's a pass.
Well, again, but it was at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, no, Saquon wasn't.
It was a safe pass.
In the fourth quarter, Saquon wasn't really. It wasn't a guarantee that it wouldn't be anything but a 1-yard gain. They were having trouble breaking through there.
You're twisting yourself in a pretzel to try to defend this stuff from Sirianni. Now, you have the win. You have the W, so you could say that it's all right, but the process to me is super
Well, a lot of
flawed.
coaches are trying, I noticed this at the end of games, a lot of coaches are not just all right, we're going to run in 3 times and let them get 45 seconds to do something here. That's a new thing. You got to get that first down, try and squeeze the life out of the other team.
My thing was, even if you were concerned about hitting the ball out of bounds, you also could have just took the penalty, which is what coaches do all the time, which is, okay, we're at 36, back yourself up 5 yards.
Oh, yeah, but no, Maggie, I'm talking about the other drive. Yeah.
But
no, of course he should have punted there.
I think you just take the penalty, and then, 41 yards is a lot different in terms of trying to pin. It's a lot easier.
The Giants have also given me, at least, I now have a master's degree in how to lose a game, and this is what they did in Denver, where they threw a pass where they should have run, and it stopped the clock. It kept the timeout in Denver's pocket. So I would have, that second down play that you were up, Maggie, to me, that's a mandatory run. And then third down, they called their second time, I think, at that point. Now it's third down.
They would have 1 timeout left, and you could probably run it down to this 2-minute
Now, maybe at that third down is when I start to lean towards Perloff's idea of getting the first down to keep the ball.
Third and 8's a bad spot for Jalen Hurts.
But maybe it's not 3rd and 8. If you run it on 2nd and 8 and you get 4, now it's 3rd and manageable. And maybe you convert that, and the game is over. But to throw on 2nd down and give them a free timeout almost burned them.
It's just kind of crazy. Sorry, it's just kind of crazy because I feel like, there were some big mistakes, but Sirianni, nothing happens because the team is so good because Howie Roseman put this team together, and the roster is amazing. And he kept adding to it.
But it's low percentage play calls. That's really it. As you said, process. And in the playoffs, if this is your approach, the process will get you beat in the playoffs, even if you are the defender.
But I don't know, because they're gonna have the home field advantage. They might have the number 1 seed. You already beat the Rams, right? That happened this year, if I'm remembering. Yes.
But to Ray's point, the guy, he worries me, Sirianni, because he could become the next Pete Carroll. The guy where you could have a win in the bag, and he's going to do something galaxy-brained that's going to blow a game that they just have. That would be my concern as an Eagles fan. Not necessarily that you lost or won this game or you almost lost this game. It's like in the playoffs, if there's a really close game. Last year, you blew out everybody. So you didn't have really a close game except for the Rams game, which they almost blew, by the way. So I would be like, if we're in a really close game, like, is that guy going to make a decision that's so out of left field that he can cost us another Super Bowl? We know that they're a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah.
They already got one, just like the Seahawks did. Is he Pete Carroll? He's going to do something to help his quarterback or help somebody else, and it's going to end up costing his team another championship because they should win more than one title.
He's too cute for his own good at this point.
Pearl rebuttal.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Sirianni's the man.
There you go.
Yeah,
the man too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the OC right now, and I think Nick is actually making a lot of those calls. The Will Shipley runs on 3rd and long is the number one problem right now. They don't seem to know when to go for long passes and when to run the ball. I agree. Yeah, all that is true, but listen, they do have Vic Fangio on that coaching staff, and he's awesome. So I wouldn't discount. I'm not sure that other teams have this massive coaching advantage. I mean, pretty much, listen, Andy Reid's the number one coach right now, and he's a terrible game manager. So I think that all this being said is, at the end of the day, do I have less faith that the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl because of Nick Sirianni? No, I don't for some reason. And based on the fact that he almost beat the Chiefs 3 years ago, and he did beat the Chiefs last year, I don't feel like Nick Sirianni is going to be the problem. I don't know why that is. Blind faith.
Quick from the NBA. This, not efficient. Cade Cunningham scored a career-high 46 last night on how many shots, gang?
45.
45 shots to score 46. He did throw in 12 boards, 11 assists, and 5 steals, creating the first such stat line since the 73-74 season when the NBA began tracking steals and blocks. All of this in a Pistons win, 135 in overtime over the Wizards.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. This had to have been an overtime game. You're not getting how many shots? 45 shots up in regulation?
He also had 18 free throw attempts. So he was, I mean, it's bizarre. He's not really he's not a nut like that where he's just shooting all the time.
Imagine being his teammate. I mean, I know he's really good, so obviously you expect that he's going to have the ball in his
thanks,
hand.
Cade Cunningham, for bailing us out again.
Yeah, I guess I'll just stand over here in the corner and let you do whatever you do.
This is like the Will Chamberlain 100-point game.
That's a Sandler joke.
Yeah, they always bring up.
Yeah,
my family's here.
Yeah, my family's here. Will, throw me the ball. Hey, I'm wide open.
888-710-4ISN.
By the way, if I'm CJ McCollum, I am annoyed. I scored 42 points on only 25 shots, and I'm not the high man because the other guy on the other team took 45 shots. Come on, I had the best game of the season. I'm trying to get out of Washington.
Yeah, but didn't he blow a layup
years
that could have extended the game?
Yeah, and he's got that going for him, too. You go to the ESPN thing, they show the leaders. You don't even see that CJ McCollum had 42 because Cade was like, I'm taking 50 shots tonight.
An ultimate hold my beer situation. Okay, lots more to do, folks. Thank you. Coming up, we will get to the new detail that's coming out after yet another pro sports gambling scandal. This one you're going to want to listen to. M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. All right, we'll get back to Monday Night Football in a moment. Barn burner, 10-7. Final score, Philadelphia Eagles get their 7th win of the season. The Packers have now lost 2 in a row at Lambeau, which is pretty crazy for this recent Packers run. But, Pearl, we never got to it yesterday. It was the news that broke over the weekend. Now, we knew that Emmanuel Clase and Jose Ortiz had been in trouble for suspected messing with their pitches, right?
Yeah.
And that there was some unusual gambling activity related to some very obvious balls that they threw. When I not just say, like, throw the ball, I mean, like, just a bit outside, like really outside. And there was unusual gambling activity. So yada, yada, yada. They got indicted. And at least one has been arrested so far. So,
yeah, I mean, they were already kicked out of baseball, right, in July.
Well, now it's going to be
June,
kicked out of baseball, and now they're looking at like 20 years, which is basically the same kind of charges that the guys in the basketball scandal are being looked at. Now, here's the one thing we don't have answers to yet, or I have not seen the answer yet, which is the Terry Rozier. Like, we kind of understand what he got involved in. You know, these guys are the same type of thing. Like, Emmanuel Clase was making $12.5 million. He stood to make another $6.5 million this season. These are not the guys at the end of the bench who are making $175,000 and just hoping to stick around. And I'm not turning my nose up at $175,000. I'm just saying, when you make $12 million or Terry Rozier was making $22 million or what have you, like, unless it's just an addiction and you're addicted to the action. I mean, this was stuff that was like $5,000, $6,000. Like, it just was not meaningful money to their life.
Yeah, I think there's something funny about this in your brain. Like, it's just kind of cool to know that you could control this. I'm sure there's a huge rush.
But
I think it's like a
mob ties in the basketball
but
one.
why,
we
like,
don't have that in the baseball scandal.
Right.
But
But everybody has guys around them who be like, hey, why don't you just throw a pitch for me? I'm sure they're asked all the time. I mean, it's just the thing about it. This is so easy to do. It has such a little impact on the game. I can't believe you can bet that much money on a pitch.
So that's
like,
the update.
It's so easy to do. It's like you're not really harming anything. That's what Ortiz probably said. And if a friend asked him, or Class A said, if a friend asked him, he's like, is it really that big a deal to go to 1-0?
Right.
No.
So that's what Michael Porter Jr. said that about his brother, Jonte Porter. He's like, listen, I'm not saying it's right, but if you can make your homies $10,000 on a night, wouldn't you do it? This, like, it's honorable or admirable. But I would say this, like you said, people probably ask them to do this all the time. If you're hanging out with people who are asking you to manipulate the pitches, then you're hanging out with the wrong crowd. Like, you're putting not just your career, now your freedom in jeopardy for, as you said, some single pitch like bets. And so the latest is that now sports books, it looks like they're going to start capping them at $200 is like all you'd be able to make off of a single pitch.
Yeah, it does feel like, by the way, you notice there's one common theme that we're running into: props.
Yep.
Like, they need to like get a system here where you can't get rich because it's so easy to throw a prop. You can't throw an NFL game. For example, say the Packers are 3-point favorites. There's no, even the quarterback will have trouble doing that. Maybe the quarterback can, but they get paid $50 million a year. Yeah, I do think that they have to monitor props. And, once again, the sports books are like, hey, we caught this thing.
Right. So they're going to tout it as a victory, right? And
yes, I think a victory. They understand, I think, bigger picture that they help create this atmosphere. But the fact that it's legal is better than illegal.
Right, because this unusual gambling activity is going to get flagged in 1 second. And that's what it seems to get flagged. Now, it's funny you say, like, a player can't rig a football game, although if you polled, like, 50% of people on their couch, they probably think the refs have it in the bag for one team or the other. But obviously, that's not what we're talking about. Yeah, I think the idea about this is the growing pain. This is probably the best case scenario for professional sports and college. This is the growing pain that we're still through, and these kind of like gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Because like how many guys need to get caught? And now we're going to probably see guys go to jail. I mean, jail. Like not Chauncey Billups probably, but like what if Terry Rozier goes to prison? You would think that has to be the ultimate deterrent. Now, again, if people are addicted, now you're talking about different things, and can you help yourself, compulsive gambler, stuff like that. But for your average dude who's just trying to help out his friends to cash in on a parlay, not worth your freedom.
I mean, listen, you say they're making all this money, but you watch all those documentaries about how sometimes famous people blow their money.
Sure.
It happens. Everybody's asking you for something. You're a young man. Listen, I didn't know what the heck I was doing in my 20s.
Sure.
You're vulnerable to all sorts of crazy things.
Yeah, usually it's like bad business investments, people stealing from you, and then getting divorced. Is
all
huge
those things.
one.
And taxes are never fun either, because you can say whatever you want. Let's see, Class A's in Ohio, I don't even know what the rate is. But generally, that's the thing. You don't get the money that you think you're going to get. And as a former freelancer, that always messed with me too. So Terry Rozier's tax lien, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. It's tough to do all this, especially if you're a young person. And, a guy like, I would assume these athletes are so focused on being better at athletics that they let all this crap happen around this. And listen, it's not just the middle players. There was a massive star who was involved in a huge gambling scandal named Shohei Ohtani too. So like, crap happens all around you, Maggie. It might be your translator. It might be your best friend growing up. There are people who will do these things.
It could be your translator.
Can we talk about the plague of translators pretending to be pitcher, hitter, superstars? Everywhere I look, the same narrative is happening again.
It is a tale as old as time.
Listen,
your translator screws you over.
Come over from Japan. Your translator is imitating your voice to place bets on women's soccer. How did they not see this coming?
It's so obvious. It's right there in front of you. Yeah, you joke around, and I'm laughing at it, but I hope it gets worse before. Like, I hope this is just the bad dark before it's dawn, and that these athletes realize what they're doing. Because, by the way, you know, the latest people who are getting a lot of money in their pocket is high school and these super young college athletes. And talk about not understanding what you are and what you're doing. So easy to take advantage of them.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Shotgun snap. Fake to Bigsby. Back to pass. Hurts goes long. Arching spiral down the middle. Leaping catch at the goal line. Touchdown at the goal line. Devontae Smith.
Thank you to Kevin Harlan on Westwood One. That was it. That was the one and only touchdown last night. It was scored by the Philadelphia Eagles. They win in Lambeau. Final score 10-7. But Pearl, for your Eagles, a win's a win.
Yeah.
You tried to do everything you could. Not you specifically, but your head coach.
I did.
Tried to do everything he could to give the Packers every possible chance to at least tie that game with a field goal, but ultimately blustery conditions and a little mismanagement. And Sirianni and your Birds escape a winner.
Yeah, it was an ugly game. Listen, sometimes things aren't working. It looked like it was going to work early. Then Jalen Hurts had an early fumble in Packers territory, and nothing was clicking. They were trying. I can't believe they got the win. Just flush this game even with a win down the toilet and start over. I am very encouraged by how well the defense has played.
Yep.
Because the defense wasn't great early in the season. They very inconsistent. First of all, what happened in week 1 when Jalen Carter spit on a guy and was out of the Cowboys game, the Cowboys shredded them until a long rain delay. Then Carter got hurt and they showed their vulnerability. Now the defense looks great. Now I can stay up at nights thinking about the offense. Now, and I think
Nice.
the
We'll
offense,
trade one anxiety for another.
the offense was clearly missing one thing last night. A.J. Brown, 3 targets, 2 catches, 13 yards. What the heck? What are we doing here? He's a superstar wide receiver. You decided not to trade him, which I think you might have an issue with. And now you're not going to use him. So what are we doing, people?
Well, I want to blame the weather, which is actually your move. That's sort of the dad move, is to talk about traffic and weather. And you love to talk about the weather, and guys were slipping on the field last night.
That field was not good.
Yeah, they mentioned like night games at Lambeau and you get a little bit of precipitation or what have you. But so guys were slipping all over the place. And I thought maybe just the passing game was partly because of the weather, because you would think that the Packers at some point would have also tried to get a little aggressive. But to be honest, like Jordan Love was under duress. This is the best for the Eagles. Okay, put the offense away for a second, because we're going to argue about Jalen Hurts and all that stuff probably till the end of time. But
yeah,
as far as like Jordan Love is concerned, this is when the Eagles are at their best. Not just when you have, this defensive front. You've added Jalen Phillips now, which just is another guy that you have to account for. I had totally forgot. Brandon Graham is back. He's at the end of the game, basically closing things out for you. So this is as good as it can be for the Eagles, and it seems like they always figure something out offensively, because to me, the roster is just too talented. But again, Nick Sirianni tried to give this game away. Let me tell you what happened. This is what everyone's going to be talking about at the water cooler today. 4th and 6, 33 seconds left to go. You're up 10-7. And instead of either punting the ball, running the ball, I don't even know what you have done. I would have punted. I think that was the obvious one. And they decide to run a pass play for A.J. Brown, who they had basically not targeted all night. Pass falls incomplete, and that's where they gave the ball back to the Packers with at least a chance to get into field goal range.
Right. And it was a long pass. It was a bomb. But you have to understand, they feel like that is about their third most effective pass play. It's 4th and 6. They don't have a play where you can hit Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown 14 yards downfield.
They do it with Goddard.
Yeah, but I think Goddard, they've done it so many times with Goddard at night. The Packers were going to watch Goddard. very closely. So that is just not, Jalen Hurts is not a great intermediate pass. He's not a consistent intermediate passer. So they're like, what's Jalen Hurts' best throw? It's that long lob to A.J. Brown. And they figured the Packers would all be up right around the first down line and they would get an open look. And that pass always works. When A.J. Brown has one-on-one coverage, it's a very high percentage. Except for some reason, the Packers saw it coming because the Eagles had just done it to the Vikings. Anyway, I'm just saying it felt like a bomb, like they were trying to like rub it in the Packers' face, but they just don't trust their other pass plays. And going for it is the wrong call. I'll give you. They should have punted.
They should have
punted. But I think like if it was, let's say I keep saying these two names, Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan, they might have. If you had Matthew Stafford,
is actually pretty conservative.
Right,
He
but
doesn't do that.
if you had a great quarterback, you would definitely go. You would consider going for it and squeezing the life out of that game.
See, I don't think so. Not when I'm only down by 3.
Yeah, if it was, but it's a good point because the field goal was so close. But last night, I mean, Brandon McManus looks like a shell of himself, and it was windy. So Sirianni did get a little lucky. It was the bad call. But he didn't go for a bomb to show up anybody. It was like, that's the only play they trust.
Yeah.
Which is not a good sign, by the way.
2 other things that were either luck or whatever that really helped the Eagles here. One, Lane Johnson, all-pro right tackle, got hurt in the game. And Perloff will tell you, as soon as he leaves the game, it's like your win probability takes a nosedive.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting. It used to be that way. I hope that they've developed other guys that they can be like, they can survive him being gone?
Well, he came back, was going to be my point.
Yeah.
He gutted it out and played in the second half, so that helped out Sirianni. And then the second part is let's go to the Packers side of things, because obviously, the weather's starting to turn. It's going to get a little darker now because of daylight savings time, and this is not when you want to go into a funk if you're a Packer fan. And Matt LaFleur, I think, has probably lost a significant portion of the fan base, I would imagine, because of the last 2 games. The defense is not the problem. The defense is good, except for against that Dallas team. But anyway, the defense is good the last 2 weeks. The offense has really let the defense down. And whether it's Jordan Love not being good under pressure, Pearl, whether it's the receiving core, which is injured and maybe not as good as we thought they were, listen, it's just been a variety of things. And when you're paying your quarterback $50 million, which I get is kind of the going rate these days, but you might need a little bit more in these close games. And right now, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's the receiving core, they've been letting the defense down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I look at one place and one place only, and that's the coach. I'm less of a Jordan Love critic than you are, but here's a stat from our buddy Warren Sharp. Matt LaFleur on 2nd and 7 or longer tonight, 75% run. Runs average 1.7 yards per carry. Everyone knows this dude. I hate coaches who consistently run on 1st and 2nd down need to be shot into the sun. That sounds kind of harsh, but generally, like, you cannot be. Everyone knows Josh Jacobs is coming. It's not a mysterious thing, and Matt LaFleur has become so predictable. And you would think now that he's on the hot seat, he'd become less conservative and kind of go for it, but he didn't. Jordan Love was throwing the ball downfield and hitting guys in the hands. They were dropping it, but there was a pass offense to be had. They ended up having 7 points. There could have been more.
I don't know. So you're blaming it on the coach? I mean,
yeah, Matt LaFleur, 100%. Like, I'm blaming the offense on the offensive coordinator.
No, but the fact that guys are dropping passes?
Oh, no, I'm not blaming that. I'm blaming the fact that they only scored 7 points on Matt LaFleur.
Listen, and a lot of people are. And we're asking you today, does Matt LaFleur deserve to be on the hot seat? Because he was answering questions about his job security last night. I think that it's an interesting call. And this is a different kind of franchise because they don't have an owner, but interesting call when you have a guy who has won you a lot of games, who does make the playoffs consistently, but maybe is not the guy to get you hoisting the Lombardi trophy, right? Like, what do you do then when you're kind of stuck in this no man's land of like, he wins too many games to get fired, but he doesn't win you enough games to get you to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure.
That guy?
I'm not sure he's that guy. No, you don't. But how much time? Because I was actually really impressed by his playoff run when San Francisco made the Super Bowl. He took a really, really good San Francisco team to the final minute and probably should have won that game. And then last year, I was actually impressed. They gave the Eagles a really hard time in the wild card. I was shocked. They limped into that game, and they were They played tough football, lost 22-11. So I was actually more impressed by what they did last year with so many injuries, and they still hung around and made the playoffs. That's why I thought they were going to be great this year. Now you have the burden of expectations. Listen, the next month is so important for him. He better beat the Giants this week, and then he better beat a Minnesota team who I don't think is that good. And then the Lions, I don't care if he gets blown up by the Lions. They got to beat the Bears. Like, they have to beat the median teams. And I think they can. This is not done for the Packers by any means.
Very interesting. Playing the Giants next kind of leads to our next segue. But if you're a Packer fan, I'd love to know how you're feeling. 888-710-4ISN. I mean, I can guess. Probably not great, considering you lost to the Carolina Panthers last week, and all they did was turn around and lose at home to the New Orleans Saints. You got to be pulling your hair out. Like, how did we lose that team? And then now you're in prime time. You get an Eagles team that comes in and, there were plays to be had. Again, a 22-yard gain by Christian Watson, which would have set up the Packers in the red zone, wiped away because of an illegal formation. Like, that's the kind of stuff that just really, really kills you. Let's go to John. He's in Boise. John, you're a Packer fan. What's wrong with this team?
I don't know if LaFleur doesn't trust Jordan Love or doesn't trust our receivers, but, everything the last couple of games, like, when has Green Bay ever had a defense? I mean, there's Wikipedia pages about how bad Green Bay's defense has been in the past, and we have a defense, and I think, Jordan Love's numbers are comparable to Favre's and Rodgers through the amount of starts he's had, and I think that LaFleur, one, needs to give up the play calling, and two, he doesn't trust our receiving core.
Yeah.
Give it up to who?
Well, that's the thing is, he relies on himself, and I don't know, bring someone in from the outside. I don't promote someone from within, but
Daboll?
and then no, never Daboll.
You know who's killing it right now is his brother. Mike is killing it. I think he's he's in LA right now. I think I just saw he's like one of the hot assistants. But anyway, Matt. I don't think Matt LaFleur has a play caller underneath him. So. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get that, bud.
And I don't either, And one more thing, too, is I read an article where basically our entire offense revolved around Tucker Kraft, you know.
Yeah, that's obvious.
And now that he's out, I think we make the playoffs as a wild card team, but I don't think we go anywhere.
Yeah.
John, I get it. And we said it the moment when Tucker Kraft got hurt against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was like the whole offense just forgot how to function. And they still won that game. But then against Carolina the next week, obviously, defense did more than enough. And last night, the defense did more than enough. So a couple poll questions out here for you at Maggie and Pearl on X. First and foremost, let's get to the really important stuff. Will Matt LaFleur be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers next season? You guys are saying overwhelmingly, yes, he will be back. But when we ask you will the Packers win a Super Bowl with Matt LaFleur, 90% of you are saying no. So make that make sense. Also to update, do you keep your kids' baby teeth? 67% say no on that one. And that's reassuring. But there's still 33% of people out there who are keeping these teeth.
I saw one comment said that they'll keep the first tooth for every child, not the full gambit of teeth.
Sure. But here's on the flip side of that, I get when things get passed down through the family, like a watch or like a ring, some of these heirlooms. What do you do with a tooth? So say your mom shows this to you now and you're 40. I kept your baby teeth. What does anyone do with it? Why are we keeping it?
Well, that's when the parent is going into business for themselves. They're not thinking about the kid. They're not thinking about if that kid has a spouse or has a partner that then they come to the house and then they got to explain this weird thing to your spouse who definitely probably doesn't have the same thing happening in their home.
Also, there's a reason I'm not a dentist. I'm not into teeth, and they're kind of gross considering, they chew food.
I'm also surprised it's just not dust by age 40.
It's a bone.
Right. I mean, I thought it would just dissolve at a certain point.
EJ, we got dinosaur bones from 60 million years ago.
I Googled it. I didn't think that sounded wrong when you said it.
Fossils, no bones. Fossils.
Teeth are not bones.
They're not?
No, I had to Google that. I'm like, I don't think teeth are bones.
What are they?
I don't know. There's something different.
Wait a minute.
Wait, I challenged my dentist then because my dentist last week definitely said, EJ, you're losing bone in your teeth. And I'm like, okay, that's
check it out. Confirm.
Wait. AI overview, though, Pearl.
Yeah.
You know how many times that's lied?
I just don't think teeth are bones.
Okay, wait. I got it here. Hold on. It says underneath. Hold on.
I'm on Colgate's website, the fine toothpaste brand, free ad right there.
Bones are mostly made of collagen, which is a type of protein. They are also made up of calcium phosphate, which is a mineral. So collagen gives... wait a minute. Are you sure, though? There's not bone-like qualities to them. How about that?
Feels like you're trying to talk your way out of that one. Are teeth bones? Yes or no, Maggie Gray, are teeth bones? I ask you.
I don't know.
I need to hire Perloff as my dentist, apparently.
Well, I would wonder, too, like that. The reason I ask is over the years, there's bacteria that gets into our teeth as tough as bones. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. EJ's giving us the break sign, which is probably smart.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes too late.
That's why you're the executive producer around here. Yeah, no dinosaur well, no, we don't have bones, just fossils. Right, Pearl? Or do you still find dinosaur bones these days? What's your AI overview?
You know
tell
what?
about
We
that?
used to go to the museum with kids. I feel like there's dinosaur bones. No? I don't know. I have no idea.
We'll get on that. 888-710-4ISN. Ask us about Nick Sirianni passing on 4th and 6. We got all the facts in the world.
We did see Jurassic Park. We should be able to answer this question.
There's nothing you'll learn from that crappy movie.
The most recent
I read
one?
the
That
book,
most recent
too.
one is
the most recent
That
one.
was
awful.
hot garbage. Oh my God, it was so bad.
I'll never forget. That was the worst movie dad I've ever seen in the history of movies.
Oh, I
Let
know.
his kids get
Completely
chased by
useless.
dinosaurs?
He sprains his ankle in the first 5 minutes, and he's just useless.
And not only that, he put his young daughter in a massive amount of harm's way.
Just a dope.
Meanwhile,
Complete dope.
Tom Brady's shilling for a company now that wants to end extinction. What? Basically, someone that may want to do Jurassic Park in real life.
Oh, Tom Brady.
Tom
yeah.
Brady, that's what I said, right?
Yeah.
He
No,
just
I-
cloned his dog, and he's working for this biotech company that wants to end extinction, which sounds really good in theory, but also shouldn't some things just go extinct? Not
Yeah.
because humans like destroy their homes and stuff. I'm just saying, like,
So you're saying
evolution,
even though we
Darwinism.
should. That's the question.
Lemmy once said, "Evolution is a mystery."
Who said that?
Lemmy.
Oh.
That's a song for Triple H.
It's a wrestling
reference.
Okay. I was just going to let it go. 888-710-4ISN.
We're still on air.
888-710-4476.
Not sure how long.
Okay. Great question.
The shark has jumped.
And funny. Coming up next, we have a big question to answer about the other NFL coaching openings that we are predicting after the news that Brian Daboll has been fired by the Giants. It's Maggie Pro.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
I'm getting word in my ear this is some kind of wrestling thing.
Nailed it.
Yeah, welcome back, Maggie and Perloff show. We got on to evolution, dinosaur bones, because Maggie's wondering what to do with her kids' teeth, which of course led us to Jurassic Park, which of course...
Well, it was our teeth bones.
Yeah, and then you got our dinosaur bones, really bones, which apparently they're not...
fossils.
Yeah, so did you guys know that... dinosaurs basically turned into birds. Have you ever read any of that literature?
Only from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. There was a exhibit at the American Natural History Museum where they had a total recreation of Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it has very close to bird feathers. It looks like a giant bird, which is what was confusing about it. Basically, if you want to be bored to death, call me after the show, and I'll tell you all about what Tyrannosaurus Rexes were really like. Because I had kids, and that's the kind of thing that you understand. Is your kid in a dinosaur phase yet?
Set up a hotline or something for people with insomnia. They can call you. You can talk to them about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And then,
I'm very interested in evolutionary biology, though. My daughter studied that. Fascinating. How different species adjust to different environmental situations.
Yeah.
And you see it happening in real time now as our environment changes.
Like Victor Wembanyama, like we're just getting taller and more athletic.
More French.
not this room particularly, but
No. It's I was thinking more about animals, but I guess Victor Wembanyama counts.
Aren't we all animals, Pearl? Sort of. 888-710-4ISN. Okay. Yesterday, Brian Daboll was the second NFL head coach to be fired. Obviously, Brian Callahan from the Titans was shown the door earlier this season, but it got us thinking about other openings that are going to happen, Pearl, anytime between now and the end of the season. So we want to do a little draft.
Okay.
Maggie and Perloff draft. on who are going to be the next openings in the NFL. So let's take the Titans and the Giants off the board, obviously.
Okay. I'm going to let you go first.
First pick in the draft?
Yeah, because I don't want to fire this guy. I like him.
Okay. First pick in the draft for me is I'm going to go with Mike McDaniel. It's like the OG. Like, he now showed up allegedly at a bar full of Bills fans in Fort Lauderdale just to troll them. Congratulations. You beat the Bills once in a blue moon, and now you're going to go and troll them at a Bills bar. It's the definition of unprofessional. And I know people are going, oh, Maggie, you're just a Bills fan and you're in your feelings. I mean, I have to come to work and be professional about it the next day. Mike McDaniel doesn't have to be professional about it. Show some respect to your opponents, you weirdo.
Yeah, I love every second of that. That was awesome. Everything about the Dolphins. The Dolphins acted like they won the Super Bowl after that game, which was hysterical.
And sad.
I'll go number 2 pick, mostly because I want him to get fired and come to the Eagles, Kevin Stefanski with the Browns. Because it's not obvious what the next pick is going to be. You think it'd be obvious? I'm going Stefanski, number 2, although the owner might have promised him success. We'll see what happens at the end of the year.
Okay, my next pick in the next coach fired draft is going to be Zach Taylor of the Bengals.
Okay.
I think this one may have run its course. Now, we have some updates here that Joe Burrow is targeting Thanksgiving, maybe to come back. They would need a miracle to save the season, but I think it's more about there cannot be another second wasted of Joe Burrow's career considering his health concerns, and I don't think Zach Taylor is the guy to get them back to the Super Bowl, so he'd be my second pick.
Yeah, that loss to the Bears, the Colston Loveland touch out of the end is really brutal. Okay, I'll go Atlanta, Raheem Morris. I just think that, I mean, if they have a losing season with all the expectations there, I think it's time to go in a different direction. Totally not his fault. Something fundamentally wrong with this franchise, but Raheem Morris might not survive this.
And this is last round. And if it feels like
I got
2 more?
I got 2. Well, go ahead. Who do you have?
All right. And by the way, it seems like we're reveling in people getting fired. This is like professional sports. Okay. Guys are hired to be fired. The next pick for me is going to be Jonathan Gannon.
Okay, I have one more.
Arizona Cardinals. Don't have to be Einstein here. They were getting credit for close losses, Pearl. But then you get blown out by the Seahawks, and the fun and games might be over. Kyler Murray is probably going to be gone. They're going to need to start over with a new quarterback. You might as well get a new offensive head coach in there and really just start from scratch.
Yeah, I think they could win some games down the stretch and save his job. They're a tough team. Last week just started off disastrously, and then they hung in there. Obviously, Trey McBride, I don't know why people just don't triple team him on every play. He's amazing.
Do you remember when his own team fined him for being mean to Emmanuel DiMercato?
No.
Jonathan Gannon?
Oh, Jonathan Gannon. I thought you said Trey McBride.
No, sorry, not Trey McBride. Jonathan Gannon. The head coach got fined by the team for cursing out one of the players.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? The player should have punched him out. But that's besides the point. That was way over the top. I think Pete Carroll could be in trouble. That's my last pick, the Raiders. I just think that the Raiders are going to stop after this season and say, hey, you know what? We thought we could be respectable this year, and we love you, Pete. You're a great guy, but I don't see the reason to go year 2 with this experiment. So I think the Raiders could open up. I feel like Tom Brady himself has talked about some regrets about how the season has gone. I think they're going to try a new direction. And let's face it, the product on the field has not been great.
Okay, so let's say that happens. So that would be 6 that you and I just named, plus the 2 that have already been fired.
Yeah, the average is between 6, 7, and 8. That's heavy to go 8. I think Zach Taylor might survive.
So there's one big wild card, and I think it's Sean McDermott. You know.
Oh, yeah.
That, to me, like, let's say worst case scenario happens, Bills somehow miss the playoffs. Patriots look like they're winning the division. You know, there could be a real situation here where Sean McDermott is like, listen, we've done as much as we could do. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for stabilizing everything. But it's no longer just okay in Buffalo to, like, be a contender and have broken that 17-year playoff drought. Now you got to win a Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go, first of all, we didn't even mention Matt LaFleur, who we've been talking about his hot seat all so long. I mean, listen, Mike Tomlin, I don't think it's a firing necessarily, but that could be an opening. Like, what's happening next? I think the rest of the season is very, very important for the Steelers. Tomlin might walk away and try something else, or they might move on from him.
You know what's crazy? We'll get to Bogusch in a moment with all the latest headlines. In last night's game, the details, Philadelphia 10, Green Bay 7, and that's why people are questioning Matt LaFleur and his job status. We're also going to have a lot of openings in college. You already have Penn State. You already have Florida. You already have LSU, which has gotten very ugly. Bogusch has details about that. Brian Kelly now going to be in a lawsuit with LSU trying to claw about this buyout. Arkansas is open. UCLA is open. I'm missing some probably.
What's the deal with Wisconsin?
No, they're sticking with Luke
They're
Fickell.
staying with Fickell. Okay.
But like, is Belichick
That's
gonna?
what they said.
Is Belichick gonna be out? Who knows? Like, there could
and
be
also
some
too,
big.
when the coaches leave, obviously it creates another vacancy.
Exactly.
Which
So-
isn't not going to happen in the NFL. I think that's more of a college thing.
Yeah, the domino effect, but maybe we see some cross-pollination. Like, it obviously did not work with Urban Meyer going to the Jags, but there's been a little time since then. Maybe these coaches are a little more modern. Urban was a little more my way or the highway.
Who would be the guy to jump from college?
To me, it's Ryan Day. I suggested that for the Giants. My first suggestion is trading for John Harbaugh for the New York Giants. Second, if that's not available, signing Ryan Day from Ohio State.
Yeah, it's funny. Those are not the names that are being floated out. It's a lot of Brian Flores, Steve Spagnuolo.
Lane Kiffin.
Antonio Pierce is getting a lot of buzz. I'm like, God, do not go that direction. I know he was a great Giant. I loved him as a player. But it feels like a lot of defensive names are coming up.
All right, let's ask Bogusch and Ray.
yeah.
You guys are the big Giants fans around here. Who do you want to be your next head coach?
I haven't heard a name I liked yet.
No, of course not.
Out of you guys.
I'll
What about
ask Bogusch
Spagnuolo?
on that.
What about Spags?
I think Spags is one of those guys who is an elite coordinator, and that's it.
Well, he only got a job with the St. Louis Rams. I mean, it was a long time ago, and he's obviously done a lot of winning since then.
No one's going to be excited about Spags.
No, he's a Giants legend.
He got you a Super Bowl against Tom Brady.
I know.
No one's going to be excited.
No.
We got
need
two against Tom
young,
Brady.
handsome, energetic coach.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Daboll not good looking enough for you.
No, you didn't like the hair dye on the beard. I think it's going to end up being Kafka. There's a lot of momentum
Really?
for him
No.
in-house. Sadly,
Yeah.
I don't
Kafka's
agree
got a
with
weird
it, but
personality. Is that what everyone says? That he's just like a really smart guy who just doesn't relate to everybody? I've heard that before. I have no idea.
Well, it'll be Ben McAdoo all over again. But, I think they
That
just need to
worked out
go
great.
offense. You have a young quarterback. You cannot hire a defensive-minded head coach, especially in the New York market. You got to go offense, develop the quarterback. But bring in a proper defensive coordinator alongside the head coach because Shane Bowen –
I just don't think that your team knows how to do this anymore. And I'm sorry, because how many failures? Like, ever since Tom Coughlin was gone, you've hired 4 different head coaches in the span of 8 years. Like, it's a mess.
Well, the Giants organization has been living off this whole idea that they're a heritage franchise from yesteryear when in all reality they've been mediocre for the last 30 years. And since Tom Coughlin's been fired, they have a record of 52-101. This is a bad organization. It's not just the head coach, it's the entire infrastructure is poor.
Think about it. You had the 100th anniversary of the team last year, and how many games did they win? 4? It's like, whatever. Terrible. So you have nothing.
No, we've got nothing.
You said handsome. That's a
so
prerequisite.
How about Cliff?
I'm listening.
Oh, yeah.
What about
Kingsbury.
I'll take
what
Cliff
about
right now.
Clint Kubiak?
I've heard that name.
Josh Grizzard, Tampa Bay.
I'm unaware of him.
He's probably going to get a job.
Okay.
Yeah. So wait, but that's what I was telling you, Maggie. You got to go for a Sean McVay type. That is, I hate to say it, it's 2025. Defensive coordinators are not who you hire.
Okay, well, let's also think about Sean McVay, though. He's got a pretty good GM who recognized an opportunity, bleep them picks, and did not have a GM who was so worried about keeping his own job that he actually went all in on a team. You don't have that. Like, people love Sean McVay like he's the only thing that exists in that organization. Like, you got so lucky. You traded for Matthew Stafford, who turned out was still in his prime. Like, you're going to be doing it with a completely different set of obstacles. And by the way, Sean McVay, even if he was in New York, you don't think that people would have tried to run him out of town the first time he punts on a 4th and 1 from the 30?
Absolutely.
Sean McVay, no way.
I'm telling you, there
I
are
don't know
things
who you
about
are.
McVay right now that are working in his favor that in New York you guys wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but Sean McVay and Jackson Dart might not be McVay and Stafford, but it's better than Dable and
McVay-
Russell Wilson.
But you're not
golf.
getting McVay.
No, but you're saying
getting
like
Liam
You're saying
Cohen if you're
McVay's not
lucky.
good enough. If McVay's not good enough for you, would you want to have a hologram of Vince Lombardi on the sideline? What do you
No,
want?
I'm
You
just-
just totally downgraded McVay's effectiveness.
No. I'm saying that there are things that McVay in New York, like things in LA that he avoids some scrutiny on that in New York you guys would not like. That's just what I'm saying, number one. Number two, he's not bringing Stafford with him. And by the way, like you're not plucking McVay out of Los Angeles.
No.
So you're just getting a carbon copy. And these guys have all... Is anyone doing great? Zach Taylor made a Super Bowl, hasn't sniffed it since. Liam Cohen is on. We'll see.
He's 5-4 with the Jags team that shouldn't be 5-4.
They just blew a lead where NFL.com said is the worst loss in Jags history. But sure, he could come up from there. Trevor Lawrence is having an all-time awful year.
Yeah, I mean, the McVay-Shanahan tree, I think, is overrated. Just to be real. I mean, just where are the guys besides those guys that have been Super Bowl caliber, except for Zach Taylor, who has Joe Burrow.
I mean, Robert Saleh was a disaster. McDaniel's about to get fired.
And Zach Robinson combination in Atlanta, what has that done for either that defense or that offense?
Honestly, they better hope Matt LaFleur wins something because he's now like the shining light from that tree besides McVay.
I think an underrated name for the Giants is actually Mike McCarthy. Because he's an adult. He's an adult. He's an offensive head coach.
Fan.
And he knows the division.
He knows the division. Not.
I heard a little Mike McCarthy. I don't hate it. The only thing is that now he's... Listen, you want to make the playoffs consistently, then you can quibble about Mike McCarthy losing leads to the Packers. You'd kill to be in that situation.
Wait, but if 12 games 3 years in a row, and Giant fans are like, "Oh, he's not good enough for us." Come on,
playoffs,
right? And if you
get there,
and if
you haven't been in the playoffs how many years?
Well, but Maggie, your point a minute ago about like McVay would not get away with stuff here. Neither would McCarthy.
Probably not.
So like McCarthy is in a league full of bad clock managers, might be the worst of them all.
He's terrible.
So he's not going to survive that either.
But
to be fair.
No, not anywhere.
He's got Jerry like mucking it up too because Jerry's out there way more than John Mara ever would be.
Yeah, and the Dallas spotlight is like New York City. You can't. That's
huge.
The one NFL team, maybe one organization. You can't do the "this is New York" thing. You can't get away with that. You can't do that with the Dallas Cowboys. He was getting
right, but no, that's my point. I'm responding to Maggie saying that Sean McVay would get heat in New York. So would McCarthy. If you're saying that McVay wouldn't wouldn't do well here, or we'd be pissed at McVay, we'd be pissed at McCarthy
too.
Okay,
but here's the thing. At least
so
McCarthy,
don't give me him either.
No, but at least you know how he would respond, right? Like you had Joe Judge, okay, and Pat Shurmur, and these guys who all of a sudden it started to turn up the heat on them, and they crumbled. Their press conferences got weird. They got combative. They had not won jack squat, and they were acting like their you-know-what didn't stink. At least McCarthy's been through the ringer.
I guess.
And if you're worried about your quarterback and his brain being scrambled because you had a coach that was running him crazy, how about you give him a head coach action and teach him how to play quarterback the right way?
Is John Gruden still blacklisted?
Folks, would you jump off? Would you come to Philadelphia Eagles bandwagon if they hired McCarthy? McCarthy would be so unpopular; it'd be incredible. Because he's just such a double retread now.
Yes,
it's nothing against him as a coach. It's just like people don't like retreads.
He'd be like Tom Thibodeau with the Knicks. And guess what? Knicks fans like myself, yes, we complained, and yes, we hemmed and hawed. But you know what? You went to the playoffs and you had some fun. And now maybe you get another guy to then go try to get you to the next level. That's what Mike McCarthy is.
If
He's
you're
Tom
gonna get
Thibodeau of the NFL.
McCarthy, go get Belichick.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What?
If you're gonna get
not the
McCarthy,
same,
go
Ray.
get
Not the
Belichick.
same.
No,
He
Belichick would be much more popular,
Giants
right?
ties.
Yeah.
Giants ties in 1985.
Listen, don't worry about the semantics.
You're going to give me Spags.
Put up that poll. If you were a Giants fan,
at least in the 2000s.
No.
Would you rather have Mike McCarthy or Bill Belichick?
Oh, that's a great poll.
I think Belichick kills him in that play. Nobody wants Mike McCarthy right now.
Hiring McCarthy feels like the nonsensical LSU can't hire the Tulane coach. The Giants can't hire Mike McCarthy to be their head coach now.
Yeah, but we make fun of LSU for that.
I know. And now here I am using the same logic to say Mike McCarthy has to stay away from New Jersey.
And everyone laughed at the Knicks being like, "Oh, you guys hired a guy who's way past his prime, who's old school, and what has that guy ever won?" And
he still hasn't won anything.
No, he didn't win anything, but he took
your coach anymore.
That was a
Finals.
disaster. Like the Knicks before Thibodeau is what the Giants are right now. Laughing stock, revolving door of coaches, a complete embarrassment for what they think they should be. Same thing Ray was talking about, being like this establishment organization that is not living up to that. So get a guy who can be a professional.
Right.
Is Jackson Dart my Jalen Brunson?
Maybe.
Yes.
Seriously, maybe.
Bring Bill Belichick, the girlfriend. Let's do it.
You really just want to meet Jordan Hudson.
If
Ray,
Vegas-
we see through this. We could read you like a book,
Come on, man, let's do it.
You just want to see her in the thigh-high boots with that whatever jacket she's wearing.
New York fall fashion, why not?
She'd be on a runway somewhere.
Scene,
She'd be on a billboard in Times Square. Finally, she's arrived.
Ooh, her versus Carl Banks. That'd be a battle.
Oh, sign me up.
Jordan Hudson would go to the opening of an envelope in New York. You wouldn't be able to stop this woman. She'd be a runaway train. And she'd probably trade out Belichick for a better model, if we're being honest.
Hello.
You unleash that woman in the city of New York, she's not sticking with Bill.
Belichick's a player. You kidding me? See him get out of that house shirtless in the cape?
Yeah, but there's
Guy's a
definitely
stud.
richer, slightly older guys in Manhattan that she can go for.
That's true.
I mean, he was wearing like a shoulder bag. Did he really look that good leaving the house?
I think he's
walk
in
of shame.
pretty good shape for a 70-something NFL coach. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I agree with that.
Belichick, by the way, had a reputation. Ladies' man.
Yes, definitely.
It's like,
Leia.
yeah, see.
Definitely.
It's one of those things where people have told us for years, like, no, behind the scenes, Belichick's hilarious. Like, no, he's not.
Well, Maggie, you didn't believe us when we told you a young Tom Thibodeau was the ultimate stud. Then we showed you the photographic evidence.
I know, and I was like, ga.
Yeah.
By the way, he probably had the same haircut that Bogusch had when he was a kid, that New Kids on the Block hair.
He looked like Body by Jake.
Mullet.
He really did. The two get confused.
Wow, Tom Thibodeau. Still look like the Penguin a little.
A little bit.
Bogues, I don't know.
I'm just going to leave.
All right.
Yeah.
It's been real.
Pretend it was you. Oh, by the way, headlines would have been sponsored by Skechers. Watch the Skechers World Champions Cup this December 4th, 5th, and 7th on ESPN and ABC.
I've got a headline for you next. This one, I promise, was not in Bogusch's update because I don't think he touched this one, but it is about a famous athlete. It is about a relationship. We'll do that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
What the is Aaron Rodgers up to today?
So good to be back. Haven't done this segment in a minute because Rodgers, Pearl, has been so under the radar.
Yeah, you're right. What is Aaron Rodgers doing today? I have no idea. For the first time in a long time, I don't have the slightest clue what that dude is doing.
Well, probably a lot of stuff, but for our purposes, more speculation about Aaron Rodgers' mystery wife.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I have seen that.
Still don't know her name.
Uh-huh.
According to the Daily Mail, which is always reputable. You can trust everything they do. A wife of one of Rodgers' teammates said, "She's like a phantom. We all want to meet her, to invite her out, get to know her, but we haven't met her yet. We don't even know who she is." So we thought maybe she was Brittany with an I, but we're not even sure that's actually her name. And Rodgers still gatekeeping the wife. And that's what Aaron Rodgers is up to today.
So we really don't know what Aaron Rodgers is up to because we don't even know who he's married to. Enigma, the name of his Netflix documentary, applies here.
Yeah, we used to know everything about Rodgers, even when he was taking psychedelic drugs. Now we know nothing.
Do you think
weird.
there's a marriage license, Maggie?
No, I do not. I do not.
That was a very clear no.
I think there was like a union. I think there was a ceremony. Let's put it that way. I think there was a ceremony.
He seemed to really like the woman who was helping him get through his ayahuasca trip in the Netflix documentary. Is it her?
The woman holding his foot?
Yeah, or massaging him, or kind of had his throw-up bucket. That's what ayahuasca is all about. Yeah, I think it's
Oh, that's a different woman. I thought you were talking about the woman on the plane.
Oh, no. Oh, right. I was thinking of the woman during the ayahuasca ceremony. The woman on the plane, yeah, it's got to be her. She was basically his assistant, it looked like. I don't know what's happening here.
Meanwhile, Steelers have lost 3 of 4, so that's what's really going on. They lost.
There's that, yeah.
At Cincinnati back in October, mid-October. They faced them again this weekend. So they've lost to Cincinnati. They lost to the Packers, beat the Colts. That was the high point. Then followed that up with the loss to the Chargers Sunday Night Football. So now they get Bengals at Chicago, Buffalo at Baltimore for the next 4.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Tomlin loses games he shouldn't, wins games he shouldn't. I'm curious. Cincinnati and Chicago could be a split, and then he'll probably come in massive underdogs against Buffalo and win that game because that's how Mike Tomlin rolls.
Yeah.
Doesn't like to be predictable, Maggie. And here's one thing that you could look up for with the Steelers is as the offense is getting, TJ Watt is starting to play like himself, and he's the real reason they've won any games. I mean, he's the motor of that team.
Yeah, the one thing I think that Pittsburgh, though, may look back and kick themselves a little bit because they probably had a chance to really bury the Ravens, and they didn't. Now, they still have to play the Ravens. I mean, bury them in the standings. They have to play the Ravens twice, but you're dropping a game at Cincinnati. You know, you're dropping a game, a home game against Green Bay. Maybe they were expected to win that one. I don't know. But, you know, that to me, like the Ravens are coming now, Pearl, and everyone has predicted it. I'm not saying anything that's crazy, but the Ravens have won 3 in a row, and their next 3 are at Cleveland, against the New York Jets, and then Cincinnati.
You say kicking themselves, but they're not that good. I don't know what they were supposed to do. The Steelers, you watch their offense, it's a bunch of 5-yard passes from Aaron Rodgers. They don't really have the firepower offensively.
Okay, that's fine. But again, you had a moment where you could have put a little more distance between yourself and the division, and they didn't do that by dropping some silly games. Well, maybe not the Packers, not a silly game, but definitely.
Well, I mean, the Bengals.
The Bengals defense is a sieve.
Yeah,
the
but
Jets
you're going. You're right.
toe-to-toe.
But you're going against an all-time quarterback in Joe Flacco. I mean, Flacco. Yeah, that's a funny thing.
You don't have an all-time quarterback on your side with Aaron Rodgers?
I mean,
you do.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the deep passing that Joe Flacco's averaging 350 yards a game. How are you supposed to stop that man, Maggie?
He throws it to the other
no,
team.
I see what you're saying, and you could say Pittsburgh should have put their foot down, but I just don't think they're good enough. I don't think this team is a great team. They're right. They're at 9-8, 10-17, and I think we were kidding ourselves when they got that early lead and thought they were more.
Okay, but the thing that is a bummer about that is somehow it does look like they fixed the defense. So, like, this defense may have been in there this whole time, and they messed around the beginning of the year getting into some higher-scoring games. Anyway, Andy is in Michigan, wants to talk about Nick Sirianni's controversial call last night. Now, did not cost the Eagles. They won the game 10-7, but he decides to pass the ball on a 4th and 6 at the Green Bay 35. Pass fell incomplete. Packers got a chance to tie the game, but just couldn't do it. What's up, Andy?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. You know, being a Lions fan, I've been subject to way too many Packers comebacks. I have absolutely no problem with this. I mean, the Eagles, they got weapons. They got one of the best running backs in the game. They got Goddard, Brown, and Smith. I mean, their defense have been stopping them all night. You mentioned punting, right? They could have drained probably 10 more seconds maybe, but hey, let's remember we're a year out from where Kirk Cousins took the Falcons on a 70-yard touchdown drive
and
win the game.
Andy, then we would have killed Nick Sirianni for not being aggressive enough to put the game away.
Exactly.
I don't know about that, guys.
I think you put it in the hands of your offense. Now, I didn't like when he was passing on 2nd down and 3rd down. That was just stupid.
That's what Maggie said.
That's
he wasn't
what I
running
said.
more.
No one is talking about that. Andy, imagine you and I should coach the Eagles. Imagine if they had combined those two things. If you're running the ball or forcing the Packers to use timeouts on 2nd down and 3rd down and also punted the ball, they would have gotten the ball back with like 5 seconds left.
No, that doesn't follow. They basically, if they had run the ball and punted at like a minute 30, that's a lot of time left for Jordan Love to get down the field. Because the running game wasn't not going to get the first down there. The Packers were all up in the box.
See, we're talking about the drive before. We're getting a little bit into the details here. The final drive of the game.
But the final drive
for the Eagles was the 4th and 6 play. Sirianni decides to throw the ball, and again, it fell incomplete, cracked open the door for the Packers. They couldn't make anything happen, and ultimately the game-tying field goal fell wide left, and it was like a terrible snap, and the special teams was all off, and their kicker has a bad groin. But the drive before that for the Eagles, they're still up 10-7 at this point, but they decide to pass the ball on 2nd and 8 and 3rd and 8 with about 2.5 minutes left to go. I thought it was dumb. All right, Andy. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Well, you got one person who's backing up Sirianni.
I feel like you'll never get on Team Sirianni, Maggie, because of the opening press conference.
Oh, it has nothing to do with that. But guys bomb press conferences all the time. I just don't think that. I think that the general manager basically took all the power away from him, and he just sat there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something special about the way he relates to players, because coaching is not just X's and O's.
That's
there
true.
There are a lot of good X's and O's.
There's
guys
definitely no negative headlines coming out about the Eagles having some issues interpersonally.
Well,
and obviously, I'm dripping with sarcasm there because we get a headline basically every other week about A.J. Brown.
I don't know. This team is 7-2. I don't
because of the
roster,
really
think they're
dude. It's
super,
not the coaching.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're that super talented. They're
Are
not
you
so
crazy?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They're not that super talented. They're the reigning champs, and their defense looks unbeatable.
I mean, listen, I guess you got to get it. How do you evaluate the quarterback?
Who, Hurts?
Wins and losses.
But you don't evaluate the coach that way then.
So here,
Fair.
well, quarterback shouldn't be.
Well,
wins
that's
and
the thing.
losses,
Like
quite frankly,
they're
coach
elite,
should be.
but there's certain things they can't do with Jalen Hurts that like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen could do. So yes, they have probably around the quarterback they have the best roster, but they're not so head and shoulders above everyone else that they could just coast on that roster.
I know. Imagine if they had a good coach. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Okay.
they win. You can only win the Super Bowl 40-22. What? It would have been 60-22.
Something like that. Thank you, EJ Stewart, Ray Jarvis. Thank you to Andrew Bogish and Andrew Kaplan, the Weedos and the Coffee Drinkers. We'll see you tomorrow.